put up a fight, didn't follow my dreams, and now I'm losing sleep. Slow it down, please tell me what you want. Enjoy the ride, 'cause those ups and those downs is what makes it worth the ride. You will make it in time. What if I lost touch? What if I'll never get it right? I try to follow my heart, but I lost it somehow. Wish that someone could say it'll all be okay. Just listen to me as I say, you'll
Okay, we're away. Who's going to come out on top? Wow, what a save. Oh, he's another one!
Hello and welcome everyone to round 2, night 2 for the Octane Online Racing Asia Pacific Sprint Series. We are back here at the mountain after we watched the agony and ecstasy last night of yellow and green. Now it is red and blue's turn for their crack at the mountain. It is me once again, Frank Frankfurt, behind the scenes pressing all the buttons. And in the box, Braden Ross and Mitch Hobbs will call all the action from the first race. Over to you, gentlemen.
G'day, Frank. G'day, Mitch.
Hello, Braden. Hello, Franco. How are we this evening?
I'm not too bad. I'm excited for this one. I obviously competed in yellow, which was a bit of a shit show to say the least. I didn't catch much of split green, but what I did catch is they had a clean lap 1, which is fantastic around Bathurst. Like, that doesn't happen very often, and I'm curious to see if we're going to get a clean lap by any of these splits tonight.
Look, it's Bathurst, so we're definitely expecting a potential safety car lap 1. We didn't even get to turn 1 without a safety car in split yellow, so I think that's probably a new Bathurst record.
There will be a safety car because we've got some of the worst drivers in the league. People like Scott Blair, Andy O'Hara.
Yeah.
My personal favourite, Nick Miller, personal friend of mine, for those of you playing at home, so I'm allowed to give him shit.
That's okay then. You've got.
It's
the
just going to be a
fine.
disaster.
Oh, look. I think it must be a first split thing. All the second splits, the latest splits always seem to be fine. It's just those first ones, so... we'll have to wait and see, though. Starting quali, though, out front at the moment in car 333 is Lachlan Henderson in the Porsche. Now, as we know, and I've probably said this too many hundred times last night, the Porsche is garbage down the straights. It's just a fact. I think the most you reach is like 272 or 3 or something on the lowish wing. So, if you're a Porsche, good luck down Conrod, because you're going to get mugged.
Yeah, I think the Bentleys aren't the strongest down the straight either. I think I actually got overtaken by a Porsche or 2 last night down the straight. So once they've got the slipstream, it's not too bad when they're up against something like the Bentley. But if they're up against something like the Ferrari, or what else is hitting ridiculous speeds? The Nissan?
The Honda, the BMW.
All the best to you.
Absolutely right. Bentley's another one. I wasn't doing too bad down the straights. 278 without a slipstream, sometimes 279 if I got the exit right. So, yeah, you've really got to play to the strengths of the car if you're one of those that isn't very good on the straight line. So the Porsche's just got to nail the exits, try and keep your underwear as clean as possible over the top and whatnot. I'm sure we're about to see that now as Lockie Henderson comes across the line for his first flying lap. I'm sure we'll stay on board with him as he comes down into turn 1. Probably braking about the 50 metre because the Porsche's brakes are absolutely disgusting. Now down the first straight, down towards turn 2. Porsche not good on straight line, but he's going to be absolutely harrying it, probably shifting up into 6th before getting onto the brakes just after the path on the left-hand side, and then up the mountain he'll go.
Yeah, I wouldn't be expecting spectacular times just yet this early into the session. We've only just clicked over to optimum from fast, so drivers won't be setting their fastest laps until the end once we see the track evolve a little bit. As we see Henderson, he starts to tackle the top of the mountain going up. He comes through Reed Park into Solomon Park. Makes his way through McPhillamy.
You're a little bit ahead of yourself. Here's
Yes, I
McPhillamy.
am.
Yeah, there it is.
Has his eyes set on Skyline. Where does he brake? You can't see the corner. It's blind, so you're going to do a lot of laps around this track to know exactly where you're going to put the car. Heads into the dipper. Nice and clean. Gets a good exit. As he comes up to the very tricky braking zone of Forest Elbow. Try and get the best exit as possible to maximise that straight line speed down Conrod Straight.
Here he comes now. Good exit, shifting up into fifth, revving the absolute guts off that Porsche. You've got to do it. Here we go. Let's have a look at the top speed just to get a bit of an idea of how rubbish it really is down the straight. 260 here coming through the chase in a moment. Let's see who gets 270. 1, 2, 3 there before he's on the brakes. So not very good down the straight. Probably looking into the 270s on race fuel coming down now to the final corner. Murray's is very, very challenging for some cars. It's a lot more deceiving, I think, you find, to a lot of drivers, because if you hit that inside curb or take too much, it's game over for the car. So his banker 2011, that is a revolting first banker. Scott Blair 2/10 off that. Kingston 9/10 off Young, who's just come across the line for a 2:01 flat. So what a time indeed. He's Adrian Ferguson now. Wheel goes a little wide around Forest Elbow, keeps it out of the wall though. That's probably the ideal line to keep it out of the wall, but you want to get as close as you can to optimise that exit coming down Conrod. He comes. McLaren, another good one on the straight, so probably more good cars on the straight than not, so it's a disadvantage to those who have to run that higher wing or just don't have that straight line speed. Coming down now to the braking zone through Dunlop. Hard on the brake second. Good exit, just going to come round to the Liquid Molly sign now. Down towards the braking zone for Murray's. Let's see what sort of a banker he can put in. It's a
206.3.
3.
Look, we've seen better. We've seen better from Ferguson.
Yeah, just probably need that banker up. Here's Dylan Tyquin. Pretty sure it's how to pronounce that. Or Tyquin. I'm going to go with that. And his pink Porsche. I think Lockie Henderson's also in a pink Porsche. So, a couple of pink Porsches in this split. Coming down now, another run down through to the chase. First banker lap, just under 4.5 minutes to go left in qualifying on that Optimum track. It started off fast for the first minute or so and then quickly clicked over to Optimum so people can start putting in those fast times. It sees what his time will be as he comes around Murray's. Oh, hits that curb, as I was saying. That's going to lose him a lot of time. See what it does. Ooh.
It makes your heart sink when you hit that curb, because that delta can be as green as it wants, but it's going to trickle very quickly to red if you touch that curb. And there's not much track left, and when you lose that much time with only a couple of meters to the line, it's very frustrating.
Yeah.
We're on board with Roldan now, is currently sitting 3.4 seconds behind the top spot. One of the Pro-Am drivers, so you wouldn't really hedge your bet that he'll put it on pole, but he is quite a strong driver. We'll see what kind of time he can set. He's currently improved by 1.84 seconds, which is quite a bit. So he's going to launch himself up the timesheets here. He'll have himself another 2 laps to improve on that, as he's getting more pace. He's 2.10 seconds up now. He's finding more time through the last corner. Look at that delta. Makes the exit. And he pushes himself up to P11, 1.2 seconds the margin. He's only 6 thousandths off P10. A really good second flying lap by Roldan there. There's a lot of big gainers in the field as we jump on board with Paul Britt. Currently got 1.75 seconds as he makes his way down Conrod Straight. He does have a little bit of a toe, but they're going to release him from the tone. He's going to have to use the raw power of that Lamborghini.
Not sure what it's actually like down the straights here. We'll see as he comes down through the chase. 2.789. Probably gotten up to 280 if he just nailed that exit. So good run through Dunlop. Going to come under the Liquid Molly Bridge. Down through Murray's once again. So first lap being a 2:03.9. He's 1.8 up. So this is definitely going to gain him a few. Oh, not the curb. Oh, he's held it. It's lost him 2/10 or so there. It's going to put him up P17 though. 2:02.3.
Yeah, that 2/10 would have only been worth another 1 or 2 positions by the looks of where the standings were. we're looking at Young. He's 5'10" sub. This is a provisional pole at the moment. Just keep in mind that this is one of the Pro-Am drivers, so he is setting some absolutely blistering laps, and he's looking to dethrone some of these top drivers. And when it comes to qualifying, the top driver in the league at the moment holds the crown. It's probably Andy O'Hara. The man has done a top 10 shootout for an endurance and stuck it into the 159s. I believe his personal best, which is the lap record for OOR, will be about 159. I think it's a 159.3, if I'm not mistaken. So very, very strong lap. That man's super quick around here.
Oh, his shootout lap for Bathurst 12 hour?
I think that may have been a 159.8.
That was a 59.6, I believe. He may have done the 59.3 in the actual quali. Sabiras getting a little bit held up by a fellow Bentley driver. Don't know quite who that is, but he is still, no matter 7, nearly 8 tenths up. Let's see if he can just nail the breaking point down into Murray's, gain a little bit of time. Probably had to get on a little earlier there just to precaution the driver in front. So he goes P8, 2:0.14. That's a very good lap indeed, 9 tenths off the pace. Oh, what a run against the wall there for Lamb, coming down 5, nearly 6 tenths up now. This will probably bring him up past Sabiras' time. We see Andy O'Hara there in P9. I'm thinking that he's sandbagging a little bit there. I could be wrong, but solid effort from Lamb here. Let's see if we can gain some more time through the chase down into Dunlop through the final couple of corners. Ooh, gets a nice run through there on the power as early as he can be, nearly 7 tenths up, so he might actually pull out a 2 flat here, and that would put him up way into the top 10. Let's see what he can do. So it's his final lap, and he's going to get a 2 flat 9. What a lap in the McLaren.
Gallo as well, another one of the top drivers of this split. He's consistently been in that top 3, just referring to last season. One of the super strong drivers, currently up 3 tenths. Heading into the chase, 3 tenths is going to be worth possibly 2 spots. If he finds a little bit more, he might be able to get into P3. So far, he's looking at a provisional 2nd row, those gains.
He had that gain, but can he find any more? He was forward a little bit tense up, just made a little bit of a mess the exit of Dunlop. Nice, keeps the car in check, gets into the 2 flat 7. He's JP Sinikas, who'll be in the comms box later on, 5 tenths up, lost a little bit on the exit, might have gone a little bit wide by the looks of it. Can be a little bit deceiving in the Bentley being the only right-hand drive car, so you're probably avoiding the apexes a little bit too much at certain points. As we see coming down, Conrad down through the chase. Let's see what speeds he's hitting. 2.79 on quali, so probably around 2.78 in the race, maybe 2.77. Matthew Dunlop's a good run, nearly back to 5 tenths up. See what he can do. Round through Murray's now. 6 tenths up. This is going to be a good time. Oh, enough for P3's matched Henderson's time. And this is Andy O'Hara. Is it going to be enough for pole? It's Andy, so I would almost guarantee it.
I mean, look at the game.
1.2, that's wow.
Of course he does.
Wow, that's
Not quite
incredible.
159, but of course he delivers when he needs to at the very end.
Oh, that's just incredible. Henderson and Sinikas on the same time. They're young for P2, very good lap from 2 flat 4. Gallo there in P5. Scott Blair there in P6. Herbert P7. Lamb P8. Piper P9. And Ashton Reynolds there running out the top 10. Some very, very good times there. Good to see. Good little cluster of proams there from P13 to 17. Very good to see.
Yeah, obviously going to see some really good battles throughout this race. Just looking at the qualifying times, if it's anything to go off, these drivers are super tight. We saw, I think it was Henderson and Sinikas matched times. So they're going to be basically driving inside of each other the whole race. At least hope. Got M class as well. Wood taking out pole in his class. Just ahead of Nick Miller, also in the M class.
Yeah, some very good performances there. As you say, Wood and Miller and Vernon there on the podium for quali. So solid effort from them. Just wait another minute or so, and then the safety car will be on its way around. And then we will be starting the 60-minute sprint race here at Bathurst, where anything and probably everything will go wrong because it's the first split of the evening.
Well, yeah, you're right. This is the track where the strongest drivers can even make the smallest mistake and destroy a race in the biggest way. And you can see some underdogs come through and get some good results. So if you can stay consistent and you're not exactly the fastest, stay consistent, stay safe, keep your car out of the wall, and you can be rewarded with a hefty number of points towards the end of the race. It doesn't mean go slow and drive like a grandma, because that won't help either. You got
No.
You've got to put everything on the line, but just be safe about it.
Yeah, absolutely. There is, I do believe, 180 points, I think, for the winner of the race. So there's a lot of points up for grabs here. You want to try and get as many of those points as possible. Try and get that fastest lap, even though probably one of the front runners will take it. There's already points handed out for quali, so the top 5 will receive the respective amount of points as we see the safety car coming through. Hopefully we'll get the HUD fixed up in a moment so we can see the leaderboards and whatnot for the race. So you see that lovely, there we go, lovely safety car. It's been designed by a fellow OOR member.
Yeah, love to see it. I went through the safety car votes, and I put in a couple of votes because I couldn't decide on just one. And then I jumped into one of the Discord servers with one of the guys, started having a chat to him. He's like, "Did you vote for safety cars?" I'm like, "Yeah, I voted for a couple of them. I couldn't decide between them." And he's like, "Which ones did you vote for?" I'm like, "This one and this one." He goes, "Cool, that one's mine." And I'm like,
Yeah,
"No,
yeah.
you did it." I'm like, "That's awesome."
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it was...
I looked at the pattern on it, and I'm like, "That just screams his design." Like, I had.
Oh, yeah.
It was him.
Yeah.
Surely, really, I did. Why are we being so cryptic? Ian Hunter.
Yeah, Dan Hunter, where are you, mate? You in the chat? Solid safety car design, mate.
There was a
Right.
red one as well. I'm not too
Oh,
sure
yeah.
it was on the red one, but the red one was quite nice as well. You just
Yeah, I
want
think
something
they're
that
all
sticks
nice.
out like a sore thumb, but isn't
Yeah,
ugly
you do.
at the same time.
Yeah, speaking of liveries, all the drivers getting to design their own liveries. I thought it was going to be an absolute bombshell, and there are some bombshells, but some of them really do contrast each other. Like, just look at these front 3. You've got red with brown with a little bit of yellow. I know that Andy put all the auxiliary lights that he could on that Ferrari. I was having a chat to him about that, and now he's made
wouldn't
all
you?
yellow. Yeah, I say, why wouldn't you? You've got the blue and silver there of Young and the pink of Henderson, and then the white of JP's car. It's very nice, contrasting, you know, nice difference for the stream to see rather than manufacturer colours. So solid choice of liveries from all, unless you've purposely made yours a bombshell, then well done. But
There's some disgusting ones out there. Combinations of like fluoro yellow with like fluoro pink and,
there's
and
some
some green
really
chucked in there.
weird
It's
ones.
disgusting. And then I cop flack for having white rims. Like, I haven't gone for the prettiest design. Like, I've just
Oh, no.
like thrown a nod to a couple of different things that I like in motorsport.
Yeah.
And yeah, white rims just happened to be the thing that added to the nod.
I
And
might
popped
have been
it.
just copying it for the cream that I have. There's someone that I remember, I can't remember his name, he told me it looked effing ugly. Who said that? Oh, I wonder who that was. I don't know. I think it was Braden Ross, but I can't remember.
Yeah, look, it may be me. I did have to stare at it for a while and drive around in it because I had to get a nice screenshot for the Instagram.
Oh, of course. Oh, that's you that runs that. Oh.
No one else
good
played
to know.
it, are they?
Yeah, well, that's unlucky, mate. You had to drive your least favourite livery. Sucks to be you.
Why'd you choose that design? The colours aren't horrible. The design is just doesn't complement it. I'll be honest.
It's the best design I could find.
Anyway, let's get down to business and
Let's do this.
these cars going 2x2. Andy O'Hara, of course, on pole position, lining up next to Young. Who is that? Michael Young, I believe it. Is it Michael?
It is.
Marcus.
Michael.
Matthew.
Yeah, one of them.
M Young, Pro-Am as well. So if Young can rattle the cage a little bit and upset O'Hara and get ahead, which he might with the acceleration of the Honda, rounding the last corner, we're about to go green. We're going to have some exciting stuff on the mountain. See if we can make it cleanly through lap 1. And we are away. The light has gone green. Young does have a good start. Not quite good enough though. He's going to be on the outside line. That Porsche sweeps in. This Porsche Henderson takes P2 straight away. Still not too bad for Young. Again, he is a Pro-Am driver, sitting in the top 3 at Bathurst at the start, so very good start by him. It looks like we've got a car in the background that's around. That's a Ferrari. Looks like the Ferrari of Pat's Lily that may have been turned around. Still got a little bit of 2x2 action going as we come through turn 2 of Bathurst and we approach the cutting. This is not where you want to go 2x2. There is not a whole lot of grip if you're not on the race line through there. As we start to embark on our first trip up the mountain under race trim. See if everyone can make it through the mountain alive. Sector 2 is the anxiety sector of this circuit. Got a few yellows up at the cutting. Looks like there may have been a little bit of an incident. They've just cleared up. Looks like they got going again. May have been a little bit of a tussle, but they are going and safe. Make our first visit to the dipper. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right. We're going through now. See JP behind Henderson, not Henderson, Young, who is behind Henderson, who got a very good start, got the exit that he needed out of turn 1 of that Porsche. I thought the Honda might have actually had the straight line, but speaking of straight line, we're probably going to see it now. Andy O'Hara's already pulling out ahead in that Ferrari. He's really been giving that Ferrari a good run around here. I know he's been very much enjoying it, having seen some of the chats that he's been putting in other servers. As Young, look for it. He's going to stick behind though, do the smart thing. Maybe get him under brakes, but the Porsche does have the better brakes, so he's going to have to wait. He might wait till the front straight coming down towards turn 2. He could even go for it into Murray's if he's got the courage. He's going to go around the outside. Henderson stays to the inside. Maybe Young's going to look for that exit. Oh, Sneakus right on the back of Henderson. I need to get my words right. Young right now. I keep thinking Henderson's in P3. O'Hara, there he is, out ahead already, pulling out 1.1 at the moment. 1.7 in fact. Young onto the straight now. That Porsche's about to cop it. That Bentley's going to suffer a little bit too. He's got a Lambo behind that, Scott Blair, and Gallo behind him, and that's Herbert as well. Reynolds up 2 positions already. So very, very good start. Here comes Young. He's made that look easy. That is the disgusting speeds of the Honda. Come through turn 2 now up towards the cutting. No major incidents, just that couple of turn, that one Ferrari turn 1, and just that instant the cutting. Young goes very wide, very wide. I think he might have tapped the wall there, and he's going to have to let Henderson go past. This is the view of Scott Blair, in fact, who's just seeing that.
He has not let Henderson pass. He's squished him to the wall. Young is making this very difficult for him. He's going to keep that pressure on. If Henderson gets past, Young is going to keep pressuring him and make sure that he does not get out of his sights, because he knows for a fact that he can get him after turn 1 or after Forest Elbow. So Young playing his cards very right at the moment and just going out full force. As we see, Taekwon has a little bit of sadness. He's already coming out of the pits. Is that a routine pit stop? Is he getting out of traffic, or has he had an incident?
Honor. He's tapped the wall a couple times round. The cutting, I think that's just because he might have received a bit more damage. He's really in the walls at the moment. I think he may have been involved in that incident, that one at the cutting. He's got a lot of bang. He's going to keep it going though. I think he's going to try and do his best to just get round to the pits, serve that mandatory, and try and make it the time. That is a mess.
Yeah, there'll be some heavy damage on the rear suspension, which is why you see the car squiggling around like that.
Yeah,
I think there's not many more hits into the wall until you decide I better teleport.
Yeah. Here's Scott Blair. He just stuck his nose out down Sneakers just to tell him, hello, I'm here. I'd like to get past. Young now pulling out the gap to Henderson. Henderson's going to have to try and fend off the Bentley. He's got the advantage though, because the Bentley is one of the other cars that does not have the best top speed around here. It doesn't mean that it's slow, but it just means it's going to lose all its time on the straight in comparison to about 80% of the other cars. Someone touching the dirt around the exit of turn 1.
And that flick up of dirt is the sight of someone who is under immense pressure coming into turn 1 and trying to get the best exit as possible so they don't get swamped in straight. We have an accident at the back. There's a car into the wall. They just went too wide, and it just wasn't wide enough.
Yeah, it's never recommended to go too wide round turn 2. It's very, very dirty on the outside of the track. No grip at all. That Ferrari getting very close to the wall. That's Gallo going for a bit of a close shave with the wall once again coming through. Down to McPhillamy, through to Skyline, one of the scariest parts of Bathurst, coming down the blind corner. Scott Blair's managed it well. Still behind JP at the moment. Gallows behind. Big train of cars now. Piper up in P9. It's very, very good effort from him at the moment. I think he collied P9 as well, so he hasn't lost or gained any positions. Still on the move now, see if they can get the exit. JP's not got the slipstream, I think, from Henderson, so he's going to be in trouble to Scott Blair in that Lambo.
Andy O'Hara is really running away with this one. He's got a 3.5 second margin on Young as it is. Speaking of which, Young has put out 1.5 seconds. I'm not too sure if it's touched on that. Spaced out for him. Oh, that is way too deep under braking. As we see Gallo, I dare say that may have been a missed brake point. He was up on the inside, so he may not have had full vision of where he needed to get the foot down on those brakes, on the quiet pedal. Is that it? People call the accelerator loud pedal.
Yeah, that'll work. Or the make car go slow down pedal.
The panic pedal. He's lost a few positions from that one. He was P6, he just dropped down to P9. You see Blair, Herbert and Reynolds and Piper all inherit a position from that mistake.
But yeah, they're absolutely frothing it. The position gain there. As many positions gained as possible is what you want around here. I'm sure the strategy... Oh, that's a Lambo in the wall. I think that's Reynolds. You pick up a bit of damage. Came just a little bit wide. And, oh, it's Bentley going wide. Might have tapped the wall around the cutting though. But kept it on the track.
So that was a Bentley of Herbert, I believe. Sneakers is doing just fine at the moment. I think one of the pros to the Bentley around this circuit, it is absolutely cracked and stable across the top of the mountain. You can trust that car with your life. You may need to do a little bit of a lift as you approach Skyline. Other than that, you can pedal to the metal, baby. Unfortunately, we're not seeing any rain forecast for this race, which is something that you'd love to see. I wouldn't mind some mid-Bathurst weather shake-up. It looks like it's going to be quite clear all race.
Yeah, not any high winds, not many clouds, so nothing to worry about.
Just looking at Green, one of our fellow commentators. Currently sitting P19. Just on the tail of Adanyaki, I believe.
Yeah, Atanayaki. I'm not something.
Is it Japanese? It sounds Japanese.
Find out.
Am I thinking of teppanyaki?
Yeah, you are, but
I do
I'm sure
like-
it could still be. Let's have a look. He's Australian, so good try.
There's some kind of heritage behind that.
Oh yeah, there would be. I'll do some research, give you a bender fact. Not that I want to give bender facts, but you know.
Green's just being tailed by one of our international friends, Ben McConnell, also known as Raggy. He's from the UK. Another fellow commentator who commentates the European Sprint Series.
He doesn't do. Quick fact check tells us that Atanayaki is a Sri Lankan last name.
Really?
Yeah, apparently.
Here you go, look at that, I'm learning. As almost every car hits the wall
Oh yeah.
as they start to come up the mountain, that's fine. Takes
That's-
that 3 seconds of damage.
Yeah,
Don't fix it.
That's how Bathurst works. Go up the mountain, hit a wall, take some damage, move on, then come around, do it again in the next one.
I think I hit the wall twice, but it equated to 15 seconds of damage that I refused to fix.
Ah, that's fair.
Looks like there was a Bentley there taking a very interesting line into the dipper. It looks like it ran a little bit wide, maybe came to a touch too light. Not too sure who that may have been. It may have been a blue flag at this point, because I highly doubt it was Herbert or Sneakers that had fallen that far back from such a small mistake. Yeah, so yeah, blue flag already.
Yeah, it's unfortunate seeing there's blue flags early on. It's probably a back to the pits or a early pit stop which causes that. Sabirios up the inside, taps the Merc wide, lets him pass, loses out another position. There's a Porsche. I think he's actually disconnected. Is that Henderson?
That may be Henderson. That is a pink Porsche. That is Henderson.
It is. He's disconnected. Oh, no.
I was disconnected in a convenient spot.
Well, yeah. Not like someone the other day who disconnected on the run down to the final corner at Donington. That was a scary moment. Audi and Porsche side by side there. Is that Stimson and Kingston, I do believe? So Kingston's just gotten through on the brakes down into turn 1.
Yeah, we had a little bit of sadness last night as well in split yellow with one of the drivers disconnecting going down Conrod Straight. One of the Audi drivers, Rico. Unfortunately, he was towards the front. I think he may have been. Oh, we just see Saxon hit the wall a little bit. Saxon, keep it out of the wall, mate. You've got 48 minutes and 50 seconds to go. You can't afford to be doing that. Rico just flew off from Conrod. He had the opposite effect of downforce, just started flying out of your wings.
Is that just giving the literal definition to Red Bull? It gives you wings?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, did he have any Red Bull before? I don't know if we can confirm nor deny the fact that he had drunk Red Bull before the race, so I'm sure we'll have that checked out for us. Piper, though, a very good start to the race. I think he started around P9, P10 and up to P6 with an unfortunate disconnect, though, but doing well in his Nissan. Currently behind Scott Blair, and he'll catch him down the straights because the Nissan's a monster down the straights. Dale Lawson looks like he's had a moment around McPhillamy. I've seen a couple of people in the past 24 hours have a moment around McPhillamy. It's not a good feeling, but...
No, I think it depends on the car that you're in when you lose it, McPhillamy. There's some cars where you lose it and you're heading straight for the wall, you're done, that's over. Your car's going to be destroyed. But then there's cars like the Ferrari, where you can lose it at McPhillamy and you can do a beautiful pirouette spin and catch the car and get back on track without touching the wall. If you play your cards right. Yeah, as I said, some cars are just death. I dare say the Audi would be one of those death cars. Another yellow towards the top of the mountain. Just before, I think there may have been another car that's on the wall. Pushing it a little bit too hard. It's the thing with this circuit, you pull out of line by 10 millimeters on track, you pull out of line by 10 pixels. You may just see a wall coming towards you if you don't decide to save it. You don't have time to react. Lamborghini of Scott Blair is getting very close to the rear of Herbert there in the Bentley. There was nose to tail when they were coming through the cutting. Oh, as he just tail whips the wall a little bit on his way through past the grate. Looks like the car's going to be fine. Didn't look like too much of a big whack, so he will survive. Not too sure if he'll be able to feel any of that damage. Maybe he'll see a couple of kilometres shaved off down the straight through his top end. But he's still going to have some pretty good top end at the end once he... Oh, as we just see the Bentley of Herbert just plough into the wall, got the braking all wrong at Forest Elbow. And that car is absolutely destroyed. I think we'll see him teleport to
Oh
pit
no!
stop.
Oh no! Oh, who was that? Can we get a Siciliano?
Yeah.
Oh, yep. Herbert's done the smart thing, straight back to the pits.
Yeah.
That thing is wrecked.
In hindsight, it would have been nice if he did it a little bit earlier, but I think he was just trying to find a gap to rejoin.
That's Porsche. That's Honda. Making a right mess of that. So now Piper up to P5.
Yellows.
Wow,
the
yellows. Wow, someone's binned it down in the cutting the cutting, you fool. The dipper by the looks of that.
Stimson in the Audi. He's teleported to pits. That was a little bit of death.
You've chat cursed someone. You said Audi surprisingly safe here, and someone's just binned it. Come on.
There's a lot happening. That's fine.
Yeah, that's okay. Piper, though, right on the back of Blair. Have a look at the straight line speed that Nissan has compared to the Lambo. Even without the toe, around the outside he looks, needs to get into the cambered section of the track. That's Reynolds that's made a good run on Piper now. I think that's Gallo in the background as well, who lost out just before Dunlop, so he's coming back. He's got a good gap to land behind. Then O'Donnell, P9, Sabiras, P10, 2.6 seconds behind O'Donnell. Brits behind Sabiras, currently P2 in Pro-Am. Young, 4.6 off Andy O'Hara already, so he's really cementing himself in that P2 position because JP is 7.9 seconds off him, so he just needs to go around consistently. Doesn't even have to go around fast. If we can just keep it consistent and clean, he will be okay.
Michael Young putting up a pretty strong performance at the moment. I know earlier we were looking at the delta between Young and O'Hara, and it was about 3.5 seconds. Quite a bit of time has gone by. Just climbed from 4.5 to 5.2 seconds. So I'll eat my words. O'Hara still pulling away. Yeah, Young was looking quite strong for a while. He's got himself a nice little gap there, so he'll have some free air just to set some consistent and clean laps. Time to concentrate and keep himself out of the wall. When you're under pressure, that's when things can go really sour. He's got a margin ahead with O'Hara, so doesn't have to worry about O'Hara getting it in front of him and destroying his race either. Which is another thing that can really tear this race apart for you. It may not be your own mistake, but someone that isn't too far ahead loses it on the exit of somewhere like the Dipper or at Skyline, just coming over it becomes a blind corner and you do not have time to react. You see that Nissan quickly getting out of the way. Piper, it wasn't a blue flag. He may have just got a little bit of oversteer as he hit the gas coming out of the corner. A little bit throttle happy. Just going to slow him behind Scott Blair here. Maybe have a look on the inside, show his nose, but he's going to think better of it. We also have Reynolds. Is that Reynolds just behind? Or is that Gallo? Oh, I've got it all wrong. This is Piper looking on the rear of Reynolds. We got to try to just update it so we've got Gallo giving up a really hard time. Trying to give Reynolds a really hard time. And we've got Reynolds trying to give some very, very hard time. These four drivers will not seem to do together for a lot of this race until we start seeing that come through and some of these gaps open up. You know, how strong it's got started and they damage or not. You just see that is Piper that's just lost a little bit coming over Skyline. Not an easy place to save the car, but he's managed to keep it. Very, very bumpy escape road. It's not exactly an escape road, more like a death road. We've got more yellows floating around the track map. At 79, I think it was yellow around the cutting, just found the wall. Holden just getting out of the way, but also finding the wall in the process. Not the most ideal way. It looks like he may have shut off the car here, or possibly a disconnect. There's definitely some kind of hardware problem. Yeah, looks like he shut the car off. Into first place. Oh, that went up. The car looks destroyed. That steering angle is absolutely toast. So I think he's going to have a better option to teleport to the pits here.
Yeah, he's going to try and get it going though.
There's a pretty generous gap in the traffic. There's only one car that's going to trouble him until he gets to Forest Elbow. It looked like he was having a very hard time. And here comes Lamb joining the party. I think there may have been... No, not quite. There's just a small gap that's opened up between Piper and Reynolds, and Lamb has joined the party and got onto the back of Gallo. Scott Blair, there we go. That's what's happened. Scott Blair has lost a number of positions. Didn't quite see what happened, but he was a little further up. He was at about P4, I think, so he must have had a little bit of an off. Michael Young still trying his best to hold on to that gap between himself and O'Hara with 5.4 seconds margin at the moment. Looks like he is pulling away from Sneakers, so Sneakers is now 8.8 seconds down the road from Young, so Young is putting a really strong performance at the moment. In saying that, we are only 20 minutes in, and Brennan takes split seconds for this circuit to bite and destroy everything. Looks like Saxon has made quite a number of positions as well. I think we saw him in, I think it was around 22nd, 23rd earlier. He's skyrocketed himself up to P15, so he must have been dicing from traffic, or maybe some incidents have aided that. As we see the first of the pit, as we see Piper coming to the pits. Does seem like it still seems like it will be a routine pit stop. Usually see a lot of these drivers coming in at about the halfway mark, just trying to be as efficient as possible with the rubber on the tyres.
And
I don't
think,
want to.
sorry to cut you off there, mate. I think we've lost Mitch Hobbs for a little bit, so I'll jump in to give you a bit of a chop out.
Yeah, that would help. Thank you.
I mean, there's a fair bit going on. Unfortunately, unlike Mullock, I don't have 6 PCs running 30 different cameras to capture everything, but press on regardless. Yeah, as you mentioned, poor old Scott Blair, you're right, he has lost a couple of spots, but Reynolds has benefited. He's made his way past both Reynolds and the Nissan and Piper as well, so he's in a good spot at the moment. Is Reynolds in a pretty good rhythm by the looks?
Yeah, I think Piper's stop is routine. He may have wanted to go a little bit longer, but just being stuck in that gaggle of cars, I think he just wanted to get out of it, find a little more clear air, be under a little less pressure, and see if he can get them on the pit stops when it comes down to the crunch with the Delta.
Yeah, I think
maybe that fresh rubber will help out too.
I think he also may have had a little bit of damage. I did notice his back of his Nissan was touching the walls a bit aggressively, so yeah, maybe just coming in early just to get that damage repaired, because the one thing you don't want is an unstable car at this track.
No, absolutely not.
So we have...
Okay, we're back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. That's definitely not... Oh, it's Jamie Saxon. That's definitely not my internet dying as well. Should be good now, though. Jamie Saxon has decided to put on a show for me just as I come back. And looks like he's had a bit of a moment just coming over the top. But he's on the road again. Thank you very much, Franco, for filling in on my internet. Does things. Sabiras, though, at the moment, P7. O'Donnell there, P8, has decided to pit. So I think Sabiras may have benefited from that. He's behind Lamb 1 second, who's currently coming up to a lapped car. They've just gotten past a lapped Audi, has Reynolds. So they're coming past that lapped Porsche now, as Reynolds comes around turn 2 up towards the cutting. Oh, that Audi's in the wall. Looks like it's in the walls a little bit, but I'm sure they'll keep soldiering on. So we're going to see a couple of pit stops coming now, as we see O'Donnell, Piper's pit now, Blair's already pit. So going to see a couple of strategies probably.
Yeah, we are seeing a fair few cars dive into the pits now, whether it's in response to another driver pitting, or if they are trying to shake someone off the tail, or if it is just pure damage on their cars. They're saying that they wanted to get sorted out before their race comes to an abrupt end. We are seeing a lot of cars that are, it seems like they're understeering. They're not quite catering for the damage that they have, and they're just understeering, grinding walls, and just not giving himself enough time to react.
Yeah, once again, poor old Mitchie, he's struggling with his internet, so back with me once again. But yeah, you're right. I think a lot of these guys are carrying damage. We have not, I mean, there was one huge incident, according to chat earlier, but seeing a lot of cars grazing the wall, and some of these cars, they get the damage at the rear, and it just throws the cars handling out so much, and probably just opting to get a pit stop a little bit done earlier, just so they can have the car fixed up and a bit more planted through the second half of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. It's similar to the saying, safety cars breed safety cars. Around this circuit, damage breeds damage. Once you start getting a little bit, you're going to start getting a little bit more if you're not careful about it. And before you know it, you're going to be coming through a corner and you think everything's fine, and you lose the rear and you have spun. And around this circuit, there's not a lot of spots where you can spin where there's not going to be a wall to greet you pretty abruptly.
Yes, I think we see someone doing the famous Austin Powers at the Dipper.
Yeah, that's Daniel O'Donnell. He's a bit of a streamer, Daniel O'Donnell. Very colourful language that he uses in his streams. But he is quite entertaining. I did check him out over the weekends just to see what he's all about, and yeah, he's very entertaining to watch. So if you get any spare time over the weekend and you see that he's live, go and check him out. Go say hello to him.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's done a bit of damage after his pit stop, so he's going to probably just struggle with that damage for the rest of this race. Already in a Porsche that is down on top speed. It's been pointed out multiple times during the week, so it's going to be a tough old road. He's just going to have to learn what the limits of his car is now, and as he's going to come actually into pit, so never mind me, he's going to pit for that damage.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because as you can see next to his car number, it's green. So he has already taken his pit stop. This is pit stop number 2, and that hurts around here.
Yeah,
So
certainly.
yeah, this is one of those things where you see some strong drivers that are usually towards the top that just get involved in really small incidents, and small incidents can mean a lot around the circuit. Drivers like Blair's currently sitting in P19. We'll see how that cycles as we see this top 15 or so go through their pit stops. As we see Andy O'Hara just over to the pits as well, looking to find some fresh rubber for the remainder of the race.
Yeah, he's had control of this race pretty much the entirety of it, so just probably pits when he felt like it. Probably not responding to anything. Michael Young still 5.2 seconds behind when he came in.
He was getting word in chat that Daniel O'Donnell had about 23 seconds of damage.
Yeah,
Which it's enough to be bad, but it's not a whole lot in the grand scheme of things because you can very quickly collect 2 minutes of damage around this circuit. Personally, I was rolling around with about 15 seconds for half the race last night. It didn't really faze me. I had a little bit of understeer, but I learned how to deal with it over a couple of laps.
yes, we'll just quickly see where Andy filters out. He's currently sitting in P10, but everybody in front of him still yet to pit. Yeah, I think somebody on stream earlier was saying he doesn't like, and I think I've seen him say it, that he doesn't actually like this track, but he's set one of the best laps you'll ever see around here, so you can't mind it too much.
Right, I think my internet's back for the moment.
That's all right, mate. Good to have you back.
Yeah, but also, look who's joined us. It's David Bender McNulty.
David rejoined McNulty. How are you, mate?
I think Bender's
No, he's okay.
not quite, so I'll
Yeah,
leave.
that's fine. I'll just go screw myself. That's fine.
Oh, let's hope my
Yes.
there it
Sorry.
is.
Good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you
Hello.
now, mate.
Yeah. Hello. Thought seeing there was a few technical difficulties, you could have some bonus bender time for a short period.
Yeah, that'd be nice. You arrive with any facts, or are you just wasting our time?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, do I always arrive with facts, or do I always arrive with facts?
I feel like you never arrive with facts, but as soon as someone says facts, you've got one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
This is true. Just give me a moment. I've had a couple. I just gotta find where I stopped.
Let me give you facts.
What, your facts or your drinks?
My facts.
Okay, alright, just me.
I do research. I write them down.
Okay.
We just saw a McLaren. I think that was Raggy getting super loose on the exit of turn 1. He did save it
Yeah.
miraculously, but it was very squiggly. For a moment there, I thought he was done. Alas, he keeps going. Just on board with Land as he comes through turn 2. He's having quite a good race at the moment. I think he started Pro-Am last season and very quickly got upgraded to Pro. As you can see, he's not a slow driver. He's one of them speedy boys, as we like to call them.
Yeah, the fast people, that's what we like to call them. So we see at the moment, half an hour in, Young still yet to pit, probably going to pit in the next lap or two. Seneca still hasn't pit, Reynolds yet to pit, same with Gallo, Lamb, Britt, McConnell, Harding, Kingston's just pit, I'm McLaws, Vernon, Wood and Matthews, so not too many left to pit now. We'll see where Young comes out in terms of Andy O'Hara. O'Hara is well ahead of the next person who has yet to pit, which is Kingston, and Kingston will come out behind most of the people in the top 5, probably top 6 as well, so he'll be looking for a battle, which will be good to see. It's Villanueva now trying to hunt down Thomas Riley, I believe. He's got Nick Miller right on him too, though.
Yeah, Nick Miller's had a pretty good race so far. It's his debut season. So one of the debutants straight from the rookie series.
Oh, but he's got O'Donnell on him. Oh, he's looking for it, but that straight line of that Porsche is not very good. Let's see if he gets him on the brakes. Looks to the inside. Oh, has to back out of it so he doesn't tap the Audi round. Very respectful move there. Got the run though, good exit. Looks to the outside. Miller trying to defend for his life. O'Donnell.
It's M-Class driver versus Pro driver, and the M-Class driver is defending quite well, I must say.
He
He's
is.
leaving space. He's actually being a little bit tantalising with the space. Coming into that trace there, left a little bit of a door, not quite wide enough. He's still leaving the space around the outside of turn 1. He may just lose a little bit here. However, the top end of this Audi is going to be a little bit stronger than the Porsche. Looks like the Porsche got the edge at the moment.
Yeah, but
Miller has the inside line.
yeah, you just wait. That Audi's going to top out, and not that Audi, the Porsche. Oh, he's actually managed to pull it out. So Miller's dropped him behind. That is one hell of an exit that O'Donnell's had to get out of there to pull something like that off. I think O'Donnell might have actually had a bit of an incident because he shouldn't be this far down from where he was at the start. I think he pitted about P10. There's someone around the cutting. It's a McLaren. Oh, I can't quite tell. I think it's Tom Riley, considering O'Donnell's just gone up position. It is. Don't go too wide over the top of the mountain. That is the very baddest idea. Oh, got a lot of front damage there, as we can see. Scrapes all along. So, oh, it's going to be struggling a little bit there with the front end of that McLaren. He's got a lapped Porsche behind him, so nothing to worry about there.
As we just
Porsche
think,
goes
the
off.
Porsche should run a little bit wide coming into Skyline.
Yeah, coming through McPhillamy towards Skyline. That is what's happened. I think that's Piper there. He was up in P5 earlier. He's got a lot of front-end damage. This is Blair right behind him. I think he'll make mincemeat of him. I don't think Blair's got any damage. Got a good gap to Kingston behind. Oh, that rear end of that Lambo's looking a little bit slightly around turn 2, but you can sort of expect that with the Lambo. Piper's going to have to defend for his life now. I think if Blair keeps this nice and respectful and calm, he might just wait until that Conrod straight opportunity, even though the missing is ridiculous on straight line. It will be interesting to see, however. Oh, he taps the wall there, I think,
Hits the wall.
just.
Yeah, I reckon Conrad's the place to do it. Piper, that front end damage will be hurting the top speed a bit, I reckon. Oh,
Oh,
wow.
that is not an ideal place to park. He gets that out of the way very quickly. Puts it back in the way. He's out of the way. Now he's back in the way. He keeps
Yeah,
on the
that's a
race line.
scary one.
Personally, I would have taken it through the escape road there just to let the cars going at full pace through. But that could have ended so much worse. That was edge of the seat right there as we just jump back on board with Blair, who's pressuring Piper. Top speed of that Nissan can be absolutely revolting though. I've been getting whispers that some of the Nissan drivers are running pretty much no wing and are hitting 291, 292.
Blair.
Inside into the chase. He gets
Good
the
send.
run. Can he make it stick? Yes, he can. That was a fantastic move by Blair. Very brave under braking.
Yeah, I think Piper may have let him sneak through a little bit there with that front end damage. That bonnet is not straight. I'm sure it'll probably buff out with a bit of love. But at the moment, it's really not helping me out. Scott Blair's just done a 2:04.3, so he's been held up a little bit. Be interesting to see what his lap times end up being now that he's in a bit of cleaner air. He's got a lap McLaren in front, I believe. I think that might actually be Tom Riley, who's braking. Probably not in the best spot, but he's letting them all pass respectively.
Happy birthday to Tom Riley, by the way. This is his
Oh
birthday
yes, big
today.
happy birthday to him.
It's a shame that his race around the mountain couldn't have been a little bit better. Obviously, had a little bit of sadness.
That's what happens. Sometimes it is Bathurst, of course, so just sort of got to expect the unexpected and deal with it if it does come.
You know what I'm loving about this split? I think I can only see one penalty across the whole group. Even maybe there might be a driver or two that have served a penalty in the pits. But at the moment, I think there's only one penalty on the board, and it's a 5 seconds. So these drivers, very respectful of each other. This is some really clean racing, especially around a track like this, where it can get extremely dicey.
Stewards will be happy with that, that's for sure. I mean, less work for them, particularly around here, is always nice.
Yeah, as we see Kingston right on the back of Piper, still trying his best, needs to nail the exit. Oh, I thought he might have actually gone wide into the wall there, but he's managed to pull it round. I think he might have jumped off the power just ever so slightly to get it pulled round right in that slipstream. Let's see what speeds he does hit as soon as he comes out. So he's not even in the 260s yet. There he is, 271, probably no matter 274 with that slipstream. So he's gotten past nice and cleanly. McConnell is 7.8 down the road. So they've got a fairly big gap to contend with. Vernon still needs to pit up there in P8. It'll drop down towards, about P19, 20, somewhere around there. It's good strategy from him just to try and stay out, maybe keep the fresher tyres for the last bit of the race, try and nail some laps. But at the moment, Andy O'Hara up there in P1 still, Michael Young there in P2, Ashton Reynolds, what a recovery. Well, not what a recovery, he was never up there. What a race. Started qualify, I think P10 from memory, so being up in the podium positions is absolutely incredible. He's Sabiras now, and Reynolds, here he is coming across the top.
Yeah, I think very recently Reynolds has taken that position away from Sneakers, because I was looking at the timing screens, and Sneakers was in P3, and as you were going through drivers, it did switch over, so Reynolds has just very recently taken that podium position.
Well, it could be a mistake or a pass, as we see a yellow flag on the exit of turn 1. Adam Lilly, he's absolutely obliterated that liquid moly signboard there. So, F in chat for the signage.
Yeah, well, that's what you get when you look at Adam Lilly, funny.
Yeah, just destroys things.
There's also a 10-second penalty on the board. However, I still stand by that this has been a very clean split, which is really nice to see. And watching some of these M-Class drivers that are fresh out of the rookie series, defending like the way they did, particularly Nick Miller before, is a bit of a tip of the hat to the rookie series for bringing these drivers to be what they are now. They come straight into the Sprint Series and they just add to the clean driving that has already been going on with the pro drivers and some of the Pro-Am drivers. Yeah, tip of the hat to Rookie Series and the guys that are running it, because you're obviously doing a very good job of it.
Yes, absolutely. Cam Farmer and Sean Madison, their team over there, doing a very good job. Oh, there's a car around Steve Lewis, around turn 2. I think he had an educated guess by where he was. Don't park it, there's Michael Young coming through. Oh, so he's done well there to avoid that Young. I think what Steve's done there, he's just come a little bit too wide around turn 2, got on the curb, stamped on the power, and just really spun out those rears, which is turning around. He's Ben McConnell, though, big raggy, up in P12. I think that's a fair few positions up for restarted, so very good effort from him. P11 now, as Vernon has finally pit, so he's doing 202s, 203s in that McLaren. Very respectable race times indeed.
Yeah,
Still got a gap, though.
It's looking like he will. Yeah, I think Piper's sporting quite a bit of damage. That that gap has been crunching down quite rapidly. So I think Raggy here is looking to get a provisional top 10. And he's got fantastic ping. He's very easy to spot in the time sheets.
He is. He's in the McLaren car 606. His ping is red, and his name's Ben McConnell. So look, I'd say it's pretty easy to spot. Very nice looking livery, I must say, too.
Yeah, I am a fan. I'm a fan of that. I'm all about those neutral colours with a colour that pops. That green is popping really well.
Yeah, it's always a fairly popular choice for some drivers, going with the black and then just that bit of green just to really have it stand out. Here we go. Ashton Reynolds now has just gotten past a lapped Porsche, and JP is also going to be trying to do the same. Bruno Gallo is 2.5 seconds off Sanika. Sibiras is a fair way behind Gallo. Lamb's only half a second off Sibiras, so they're currently battling. Blair's then 8.2 off that. Kingston's 2.6 off Blair. Piper losing time, 6 seconds off Kingston. Raggy gaining very quickly on Piper, 3.8 off. That's a second within probably about half a lap, nearly to a lap now. So
We've
he's
just
looking
seen
for that top 10.
Sorry, we've just seen a big move by
You're right.
Sneakers. Is taking the position back away from Reynolds. It looks like Reynolds had a little bit of a mistake coming through the last corner. He may have touched that curb that we all hate because it destroys laps, and I think Sneakers has nailed it and found a good exit and made a position around the outside of turn 1.
Yes, the curbs are quite deceptive around here. You can drive on them fine, and then the next lap, it's just the game says no.
Oh, Reynolds really struggling with that Lambo, just lost the rear end coming out through the cutting he did. I think that's one of the weird quirks of the Lambo, rear end tyres go bye-bye sometimes, so just got to be a little bit careful, especially coming over the top here. But doing well, might try and hold on to Sneakers if he can. He's got Gallo behind though, fairly decent gap to just go as quickly as he can, and if he does make that mistake, hopefully it won't cost him a whole lot if it's only a couple of seconds of damage. But Gallo will be absolutely frothing at the pace that he's on at the moment, trying to catch up. Sibiras keeping it nice, consistent. Gap hasn't changed too much. Lamb really trying to close that gap to Sibiras now. 1/10 gain in the past lap, so really consistent on similar pace, but they are pushing it now. Just about 18.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Sorry, Bender, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm not sure if you mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, but obviously no rain in this race. Do you think we'll see rain in Split Blue? Split Red, rather?
I'm sure Brad and I will be sticking around until the other commentators join, so we'll get to witness whether there's going to be rain or not. But if there is, I'm sure we'll let you and the two other commentators who will be joining at the end of the race to deal with that instead, because I don't think we really want to be held accountable for any incidents that do happen on any part of the race or any commentators cursing that may occur.
Yeah, I personally hope that there isn't race, because it's just one of those things that'll excite me to stick around and stay up and watch it, but I really can't. I wake up at 5 a.m. I need to go to sleep at a normal hour, and if you add rain to Bathurst, it's going to ruin me, and I'm going to feel like crap all day tomorrow just for a little bit of entertainment tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I need to take off and do some practice for the red race, so very brief stint here, but thankfully your internet is back now, Hogsy.
Yeah, it should be good now. Thank you, Mr. McNulty.
No, thanks for doing that, and good luck
See you
tonight.
later, guys.
See you for the wet race, if the wet you watch. Righto, move on now. Yeah, right. he didn't give us a bender fact though, so we've been saved. Back to the race though. Lamb, as I was saying before, really starting to put things into place now on Sibiras. That is a very chrome purple Bentley, I'm going to be honest. I haven't seen chrome purple as a main body colour, but you know, I guess it works. It is definitely something different, especially on a car as wide as the Bentley, but we'll go with it. Does look good. Lamb, 3/10 off, lost a little bit down the mountain. The Bentley is very good over the top and on the descent. Oh, taps the wall though. That was nothing I said. Nothing to do with that at all. But Lamb is absolutely on at the moment. Looks like he's got a bit of front end damage though, so he's doing well to actually catch Sibiras with that damage. He's keeping the gap to Blair. It might actually be opening up. We'll see. Well, the Scotty Blair does come across the line. It was 8.8 when I last saw it on the timing sheet. So 8.3, so he is closing that gap slowly. Whether it's going to be enough in these just over 15 minutes left to catch up for some more points, unlikely, but Scott Blair is very consistent and fast, so good to see. Piper actually I've only just seen drop down to P12 from P10, so that brings Ben McConnell up into P10, 12 seconds off Kingston, so now he just might need to just defend Britt. He's got all the time in the world because Piper does have that damage, even though Piper's got Van Vliet behind him and Harding is still just under 7 seconds off, so bit of breathing room there. He's Connor Kingston now, who's got McConnell not too far behind. He's got a decent gap to Blair. That's Blair in the Lambo on the right hand side of screen. We're just getting past, I think that's a lapped Bentley.
Yeah, we did see Blair earlier on in the race drop quite a number of positions due to a mistake, and it just looks like he's been a sitting duck since then. He's been holding that position, hasn't been able to find any more. Doesn't even seem like he's found a whole lot more time on the cars ahead, so he's just kind of sitting there and biding his time. maybe you can inherit some positions through mistakes, or maybe some tyre wear can start coming into play at the late stages of the race. However, 30 minutes on the tyres doesn't really bring tyre wear, does it? As we look at the most ugly camera view that we can possibly see, this is Bender Cam.
Well, I think there are worse ones. There's a Jamie Saxon commentary cam.
Is that Chase Cam?
That is Chase cam, yeah.
Oh, gross.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty horrid.
this is why Bender likes wet races so much, because he uses this camera. When you're in cockpit view, you can see
Nothing.
Well, you can see nothing, rather. And you turn the wipers on, they do nothing. The goggles,
Yeah, they
do
don't
nothing.
do a lot in heavy rain. In light rain, they do a fair bit. Medium rain's okay. Heavy rain, dead. You're dead.
Yeah,
Where's
so
the track? I don't know.
you get nothing in hood cam. It's clear as day. It's clear as mud, crystal clear.
It's clear, yeah, it's clear as day if you're in bonnet cam as well, because you don't have the wipers on, so we get to shame you and laugh at you. Oh no!
That's
Dale
Lawson in the Bentley. It's like he
Oh,
may
we've
have
got a
just-
Bender fact in chat. Oh no.
We'll just leave it at that. That's fine.
Okay.
In what does he say? In Swaziland, witches can legally fly up to a height of 150 meters on a broomstick. I'd like to see them try.
I was going to say, I'd like to see that.
I have my doubts. That's not a law. I believe they can, but that's not a law. Yeah, thank you, Bender. It's disappointed us a little bit with that one. Definitely a Googled fact.
Yeah, probably. Oh, here we
Random
go. Hang
facts
on.
of the world.
Britt, sorry to interrupt, on McConnell down the inside. Ooh, Raggy's leaving the room though, goes out wide. That's definitely compromising his exit onto the straight. Britt has got the run. McConnell needs to defend the inside, force Britt to the outside where it's dirty and there's no grip and could actually put him in the wall with the wrong line. Let's have a look what he does here. So forces him out wide. There is the no grip, so McConnell bangs that exit out because Britt's been forced to the outside. Still close though, probably within about 6/10 of each other still, even with that rubbish line through there. Oh, nice and smooth. Andy O'Hara out in front still, 10.3 seconds to Young. Pro-Am leading driver at the moment. I think he'll probably get promoted to Pro soon, having won Donington just on the weekend, and now he's currently on the podium for the moment. I can't really count my chickens too early. Looking like a promotion coming for him soon. Sneakers back into P3 off Reynolds. Has managed to hold him off at the moment. 1.4 second gap. Gallows fallen back a little bit. 1.8 to Reynolds and then 10.8 to Subaru. So Gallows got a lot of breathing room to just be consistent, try and make his way back up to Reynolds if he's got the fuel and the tyres left in it. But very solid performance by everyone so far this race.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen some big movers as well. I think Nick Miller down in P22, one of the M-Class drivers, he's dropped a position in class. However, I think he started around P30, so he's found 8 positions throughout the race. And it's very daunting doing your first sprint race around Bathurst. Usually it's horrible, which is what you should expect. But it seems like he may have been able to keep it alive for a lot of the time. And yeah, he's doing all right. Yeah, obviously a bit of sadness floating in the field as well. We've got Piper, who's just losing position after position due to the damage that he's got. It's just really affecting that lap time. He's probably setting something around 206s, 208s, somewhere in that ballpark, I'm assuming.
Yeah, look, it's unfortunate to see something like that. Ooh, just going to shush for a second because I think Britt's going to go for it once again on McConnell, but he's going to be forced to the outside once again if the cameraman could find the... Correct, there it is. So, see if Britt's learned his lesson this time. He might break early, go for a... Yep, there it is. So he wants that cambered in line to try and nail the exit. McConnell still gets a better exit, but he hasn't lost near as much time as he did earlier from going out wide and nearly touching the wall. So solid strategy here from Britt. He's going to try and nail over the top of the hill, get that slipstream on McConnell. I think that's Van Vliet just behind in the Porsche it is. So even he might even get in on this battle with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, and that'll be for a fight for P2 on the podium. Britt currently sitting in P3, so if Van Vliet gets onto the back of it, I think he'll fancy a spot up onto at least one of those steps rather than taking P4 in their class. Michael Young taking P2 overall and P1 in class, obviously very stellar effort by him. As we
Oh,
see,
Britt, what's happened there?
He's run off to the escape road. I think he just may have got his braking point just that little bit wrong.
Yeah, lucky that escape road is there, or else that would have been into the wall.
Yeah, and the Dipper is one of those places where if you're in your own little private server, you can yeet down the Dipper and roll the car and wall ride, and it's just all good fun. It's not good fun when you do it in a race.
I was going to say, don't in sprint. Gallo looks like he's actually got a bit of front end damage too. He's got a Porsche, I think, by the looks of that front end behind him. I think it's a lap Porsche though. So currently at the moment, he's only doing 2:11 that lap, so that must have been where the incident has occurred. He might have tapped a wall or something. So he's in a bit of trouble now, Gallo, but he's had a massive incident. That's Sibiros behind there in that bright purple Bentley, 2.3 off him now. This could actually be Gallo losing his top 5 position.
Yeah, put some of these blue flag drivers into a bit of an awkward position, like you've just let them by and now you've got the top end on them by heats down the straight. So what do? Do you take the position back and impede them over sector 2? Or do you sit behind them and impede yourself? Like, you just got to make the decision, really. I think for that Porsche, it may have been a pretty easy decision. You may have seen the top speed and thought, all right, yeah, I'm taking this.
Oh, here we go. Wow, Sibiros is right on Gallo now. I think if I'm Sibiros, I just hold back, knowing he's got the damage. Yep, he's holding back. He's going to have probably a garbage exit. Or he's going to actually look to it. I think Gallo's going to... Yeah, Gallo's let him go. He knows he's got that damage. So Sibiros up into P5 now. Actually, I think that's also possibly Lamb behind as well. So Gallo's really starting to lose out now. It is. Wow, that's really unfortunate. Can't quite tell what's happened to Gallo. I think he's probably put it in the wall, maybe over the top, and gotten that bit of damage. Here comes Lamb. Slipstream, I think he's going to look to the inside. He is. He's also got a little bit of front-end damage, not as much as Gallo has, though. Sibiros has already pulled out 2 seconds, so if Lamb's going to want that top 5 position, he's really going to have to crack on now. 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, so we're looking at about, 4 or 5 laps provisional left for the race.
Yeah,
and
something like that.
there's a number of drivers that will see that Delta start to crunch down and think that might be another position for me. Scott Blair is going to be the next in line to see how quickly his Delta goes down. It's currently 8.5 seconds, and I think he'll have it done before the end of the race.
Oh, no.
That's Lily facing the wrong way just as he starts.
Oh,
his
don't
climb.
drive the wrong way, Lily. He might get DSQ'd if he does this the wrong way. He needs to get a move on quickly.
I don't think he's going to be able to. There's no real gap that he's going to be able to do this. The biggest gap has already gone. I think he may have been in that gap.
Return
There
the
we
pits,
go.
there it is.
Smart move. I think he wanted to find the gap, but he just couldn't.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate to see him. He's been in the walls this race, poor old Lily, but he's soldiering on back to the pits. He'll go. I'm sure he'll come out with about 5 minutes to go with the controls locked. Now, here's Britt right on the back of McConnell. Once again, they've been fighting for the past 3 or so laps. Thought he had him at one point. Just went around the outside once, lost a lot of time and learnt from his mistakes. So both very consistent, very similar lap times for both of them. Getting in the camber part of the section does Britt. Coming up to the cutting now, you don't want to go too wide through here, so Britt's probably just going to have to back out. He does back out. He's going to wait, try and nail his exits, and hopefully he can get up to him for Conrod Straight. This is Van Vliet as well, that red Porsche as you're seeing just on the left of the screen there, coming up to over the top of the mountain.
Yeah, the more these two battle, the more time they're going to lose over the lap, and the better it is for Van Vliet. He will be able to get onto the tail, and being in a Porsche, he might just be able to get a move done quite easily in a braking zone. So with the closing stages of this race, it's all on the table for this Pro-Am podium. Van Vliet can smell it, and you can tell that he wants it. He is driving hard. He's getting on the back of him now. It looks like he's officially joined the train, and this slipstream is going to help his case.
Yeah, if Van Vliet can just get into that slipstream, that's going to help him that little bit. The Porsche, of course, not good top-end speed. Not sure what he'll be doing at the moment with his not much slipstream. Here's Britt now. I think he's going to look to the inside of McConnell this time, and he does. He goes much later on the brakes. McConnell read that, and Britt's made the mistake, so McConnell gets back past. I think Britt's going to be a little bit frustrated in that car now. He's got Van Vliet on his tail. Van Vliet's going to look to it, but decides to hold back. Can wait to see him again come through. Oh, goes off track a little bit. Needs to keep it on, though. Doesn't want to lose too much time to Britt. Goes to the outside. but not quite side by side. See if he can nail the exit here, get the slipstream, maybe get past. If he's nailed the exit, Britt's got the better top end speed, but Van Vliet's got the better exits, so fairly even at the moment. Just under 5 minutes left to go. Andy O'Hara still in the lead to Michael Young and Sneakers, who's really pulled out that time to Reynolds now. So I think Reynolds has even had a moment, who's now 9 seconds off Sneakers.
Yeah, it must have been quite a big moment to be losing 9 seconds. You wouldn't expect that on merit for Sneakers. Those two were very similarly matched for a majority of the race. So, yeah, something's definitely gone down there. But yeah, Van Vliet really putting the pressure on early. We saw that mistake earlier from Britt, putting the pressure onto McConnell. And he didn't even get a chance to collect his thoughts, or not even a chance to wipe the sweat off his brow, because Van Vliet was right there pressuring him, saying, I want your position, and if you're going to do that, I'm going to take it. But you can see that gap is opening up with Van Vliet just a little bit as well. So Van Vliet is going to have to work a little bit harder if he wants to get that position. You can't rely on mistakes here, because I don't know if you'll see another one.
Yeah, he's going to have to try his hardest. So three-way battle here at the moment. Van Vliet's dropped off a little bit. Britt's still on the back of Raggy now. Still trying to close that gap. Got the slipstream. Whether it's going to be enough coming down through to Dunlop, I don't think so. He might stick his nose out though. Just going to stay behind, get as much slipstream as possible. Goes later on the brakes, goes a little deep. Manages to pull off the exit very well though. Gets really solid grip. So maybe that rear end of that Lambo is finally starting to come into check just at the end of the race when he needs it most. Let's see what happens coming down towards the front straight after turn 1. Just being informed Piper's in the pits, so he's down to P23. He's had a pretty awful race, got that damage now down in his Nissan. It's really unfortunate to see how many positions he's lost due to being a victim of the mountain.
Yeah, when the mountain bites, it bites really hard. Also, the mountain can gift you something quite spectacular and leave you a very happy driver at the end of the night. I know I was, and I had to have a shower immediately after the race because I was drenched in sweat. It was disgusting.
Oh yeah, it was pretty horrible. I think everyone was. So I'm sure a couple of these drivers at the moment, I'm sure Raggy's really trying to keep his position. He's up for a decent amount of points here, being in P10. He's really just keeping it consistent. Oh, that's in the wall for Britt. Oh, that's going to be a bit of damage. So that is luck there for McConnell. There's a Lexus off there on the right. I think that's a lapped one, so not going to cause any threat, not going to gain any positions for anyone here.
Yeah, I'm assuming that may have been Villanueva that was off in the beach over at Skyline.
Yeah,
I think,
sure.
Britt's saving grace here with that bit of extra damage that he may have just picked up. I think his saving grace is how close we are to the closing stages of this race.
Yeah, look, they're coming up to, well, where's Andy O'Hara? He's up there, so they've still got another 2 laps after this, I believe.
Yeah, so this is the point where you start looking at the clock and you're like, is it 1 more, is it 2 more? Come on, green, turn white. I want the white flag, I want this to be over. Had a little bit of that last night, and it turned white as I was coming into the chase, and I'm like, all right, well, it's there's 2 more laps. And I just had to deal with it. But yeah, so these guys are going to be stressing pretty hard as we see Britt still pressuring McConnell. McConnell bending off very well. They just get past the blue flag of the most atrocious livery I've ever seen in my life, apart from Hobbsy's livery. Britt having another look on the inside of turn 1, can't get it done, but he's showing the nose, he's showing that he's there, and he's not giving up just yet. We'll see if he can get a little bit of a slipstream. Gap is quite large. I don't think he'll be able to make a move coming into turn 2. So after this, I think he's got another opportunity coming to the chase, and then I believe they're going to have 1 more lap after this. So
Yeah,
does he play
they
his
will.
cards right? Does he get a little bit more patient and just bring that delta down a little bit, or does he keep showing the nose, putting on the pressure, and trying to force McConnell into a mistake?
Yeah, he's just going to do his best. Final lap now. Andy O'Hara crosses the line. So he's been flawless this race, Mr. O'Hara. P1 still. Big gap to Young, who's got big gap to Sneakers, who's got a gap to Reynolds, who's got a gap to Sibera. So fairly spread out at the front of the field. solid races from all. Good gain from Sabira. Same for Lamb. Blair's done well. Kingston's doing very well up in P8. Gallows lost a bit due to damage. McConnell's doing very well here, still to fight off Britt. So solid racing here at Mount Panorama this evening for Split Blue. What's it going to be like for Split Red in just over 10 minutes time? Hopefully there's no rain for them. I know that's what Bender McNulty wants, but Bender McNulty doesn't get what Bender McNulty doesn't get what he wants. So
He'll say before every race, I reckon there'll be rain. And then when there is rain, he'll get real smug. He's like, I was right, I knew it.
I was right, yeah. So here we go. Oh, Britt just moving the nose around, just being like, hello, I'm here. Here comes a lapped McLaren ahead as well. Not quite sure who it is. Must be someone fairly further back in the field. Yep, letting him pass. Very good to see. So Britt knows this is the final lap. He's going to have to give it everything he's got. Good exit out of Murray's. So coming down to turn 1, he's going to stick his nose out. McConnell just moves over slightly to give him a lot of room. Looks to the inside. But McConnell knows there's the room, so he's going to get the decent exit. Britt needs to stick in there. Van Vliet there has dropped back a bit, so he's going to have to settle for P12 at the moment, unless there's some horrible incident right here, which I hope there isn't.
Yeah, you'd hope not this late in the race. So this is some of the closest action we've got, as we're just jumping on board with Andy O'Hara for pretty much the first time this race, because it's been a very convincing win. He's kind of had a boring race all on his own. So Andy O'Hara successfully rounding the final corner and taking P1 around Bathurst. There you go. Are you surprised?
No. But what
I
a
am.
race. Here we go.
Yeah.
Michael Young.
This is a surprise here. This is really well done by Michael Young, and I do foresee a promotion in not so distant future for this man. Really well done. That's P2, and a convincing P2 on merit. Almost took P1 at the start, lost P2, got it straight back, and held on to it for the whole race. So really well done by Michael Young.
Yeah, solid effort. P2 and P1 in Pro-Am class. Sanikas there is going to be coming across the line for P3. Reynolds will be coming across for P4. Sabiras had a good race P5, but Reynolds has made up positions all the way from P10. So what a solid effort indeed there. Frank just lets us know 2 flat 4 has been the fastest lap in the race, set by, I can only guess, Andy O'Hara. So Britt here been trying his absolute hardest to get McConnell, unless he can get him into Dunlop, which he's going to have to absolutely send it if he's going to want this. McConnell, here we go.
Oh,
March
that is
late on the
late on the
brakes.
brakes.
Wow.
Too late. He's off into the
no.
green. Oh,
Oh, that is... Oh, I thought Van Vliet might have been given a position there right at the end, but what a solid battle it's been for the past 5 laps or so for McConnell and Britt, as McConnell comes across the line for P10. What a race he's had. Same for Britt. That was solid from both drivers.
yeah, so Van Vliet in the end has taken that podium position in Pro-Am Plus, taken P3 in Pro-Am, P11 overall. That was super impressive defending by McConnell as well coming into the chase. He planted his car in the middle of the circuit and made it the fattest McLaren I've ever seen in my life.
Oh,
Seeing the
absolutely.
last of the drivers around the corner. We've got Green coming across the line, P15, Alex Eam, and a little bit of sadness for Daniel O'Donnell, unfortunately. He's at the top of the mountain.
Oh, he's run out of fuel.
That's no more fuel. He pitted twice. He had 2 chances to get it right.
Oh,
that was an unfortunate race for Daniel O'Donnell. He does have a lot more than that in him. He is quite a very quick driver. So yeah, just not his night,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
That's
This lap is
unfortunate.
currently 2:15.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Oh, he's picking up pace.
trying.
He's got gravity on his side now. See, Daniel O'Donnell just making his way through the S's towards the dipper. Oh, he nails the apex at 41 kilometers an hour. He's absolutely
Yeah,
good.
oh, it's second gear, third gear. Hang on, do the dipper. Oh, that's a good solid line. Oh, he's picking up a bit of speed. He's found a bit of speed. I think that somehow he's found that shifting up gears is finding him time. Don't know how he's going to get down Connor. This could be interesting to witness.
Yeah, there's a
Oh,
big
he's going to go for
downhill,
the
but
wide
there's also
line. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah,
Oh.
see how his exit is. Absolutely nails the exit. Look how close to the wall he got. Before he even gets to the kink, he's already at
there we go, out of time.
Fantastic.
Still does finish P17 though, technically, I do believe. So, race winner, Andy O'Hara for P1, Michael Young P2 takes the Pro-Am class win as it's now reset. That's very rude.
We just click over to the race tab and
Yeah, there we
can
go.
Get going. Sonikas in P3, taking that final step on the podium. And then we just look at our other Pro-Am drivers on the podium, which was Benji McConnell and Van Vliet, who took out the remainder of the Pro-Am podium. And then the AM-Class podium, Neil Wood and Vernon. I'm sorry, what's Vernon's first name? Is it
Phil.
Paul, Pete, Phil. Gotcha. And Nick Miller, I know that one, in P3 in the AM-Class. But yeah, some solid driving by a lot of these drivers across the board. That was an exciting race. And yeah, as I said earlier, like, what have we got? We've got 4 penalties across the whole grid throughout the whole race. Like, that's some really
very good
clean
effort.
racing, and it's good to
Yeah.
get exciting racing without having to see those incidents happen. But
Yeah.
Good race by all of them. Well done,
Yeah,
Split Blue.
absolutely. Now, it's time to move over to Split Red 5 minutes before quali starts, so we might get a little bit of time to see what the times are and get a bit of time to get the 2 commentators that are going to be preceding us for Split Red to jump in here. We might be able to
Yeah, we're going to get
have
a
a
little
chat
bit
with
of
one of them.
Team Color Wheels equals Angry
Yeah.
Mullock.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I
That's a pretty good
love it.
team name.
Yeah, so we'll get a little bit of a taste of who's sitting where in practice session. Keep in mind, not everyone goes out during free practice. Also, some people will go out on low fuel, just doing some quali prep. Others will go out for race prep and do some full fuel. So it is hard to tell, but it is a little bit of a gauge to see where each driver is sitting, depending on how their free practice session has been played.
Yes, absolutely. As we sit here and wait. Here we go. So no rain, unfortunate Bender. That's unlucky, mate. No wind. So
Not even a cloud. Oh, there we go. It's
No.
just changed. A couple of clouds. Track has been set to fast. Yeah, just for those of you playing at home, currently sitting in P1 is Zachary Ogold James. Top of the time sheets at the moment. However, I dare say that might be quali paced by him, plus a couple of other drivers that are around him. And some of these pro drivers are going to be doing their race pace quali. As we see all these Ferraris 4 in a row with their times. Ferrari's looking very similar. It'd be nice to see some 4-way Ferrari battle around the mountain.
Oh, yeah, that'll be good to see. Bit of a battle going on there if they can qualify near each other. Is this a Chrome Aston that I'm seeing? Oh, dearie me. That is... Oh, that's very much Chrome, as having his eyes now burnt out. Welcome to the commentary box, Mr. Sean Bubb now.
Evening, gentlemen. How are we?
Good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Mate.
Not too bad. Just got to take off the old race director helmet, put on the commentary helmet.
Yep. And
So you go from making all the rules and making all the calls to trying to be completely biased.
100%.
and just before we do that and before we kick it off, we might do a bit of the old restart, as once again the broadcast controller has decided not to work for me, so I will do a bit of the old we'll be right back and hopefully be up and going for the start of Split Red. So bear with us for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, Franco's just going to go to a quick octopus mode.
Yes, absolutely. So, Sean, just give us, being the race director, that race looked pretty clean in terms of incidents. Were you very happy with that performance?
I was astounded by the performance. There was actually a moment in time where I actually said to the students, I'm like, is our comms working? Because I haven't heard anything for a very long time. You know, like, no, we're all silent too. I was like, concerning. No,
Yeah,
it was very well done by the split.
I think we saw 4 penalties handed out across the board. Only 2 of them were 10 seconds, and the other 2 were only 5 seconds. So obviously, super clean race, and you guys would have been twiddling your thumbs and being bored, which is a breath of fresh air, I suppose.
Yeah, Split Blue did well.
Yeah, as we introduce JP to the commentary, how are you, Jean-Pierre Sonic?
Good evening, guys. Yeah, I can finally breathe again, so that's of course helpful. But no, that was great fun.
Bit of a yo-yo race with Reynolds there, going back and forth with each other, taking each other's positions here and there. It looked like Reynolds had a bit of an incident in the end. You're able to clear him convincingly. But
Yeah, we had a good little race before the pit stops, and then I had my customary crap pit stop, which screwed it up. And yeah, it was a close race after that, and fortunately, it seemed like he had an issue with the final corner a couple of times, and able to get the run. And then, yeah, unfortunately, him and Gallo had a bit of an oopsie top of the mountain.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we did see him hit the notorious curb on that last corner a couple of times, which destroys laps. Yeah, that would. But yeah, really good race. By all of you, it was super fantastic to see how clean your whole split was. Obviously, you guys at the front included, you had a bit of clear air. It was just some two-way battles. But yeah, just down the whole field, like in every class, there was some super clean racing and some really good defending from unlikely suspects. I was making comment on one of the AM class drivers having some really good defensive skills, like leaving the room on track, being polite. He was battling one of the pro drivers as well. So it was just a bit of a nod to the rookie series as well for doing so well with developing those drivers and getting them comfortable in the sprint series.
yeah, for sure. I think especially the practice races that they do after the track walkthroughs and stuff like that. I think that adds massively just to the racecraft of the guys stepping up. And because they focus so hard on the starts and making sure that they get clean or overtakes in traffic, it definitely improves the overall racecraft for the guys stepping up from rookies into the sprint series for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're just ticking over to the start of the qualifying session for
Yep.
Red now.
We are right to go, boys, so I will leave it in your capable hands.
No worries.
I think that's me and Braden's cue to jump out of here.
Jump out. So it's going to be
Yep.
me and JP. Sean Bubnow is here with JP.
Indeed.
Hopefully you two guys will be comfortable enough to take over the call from here, boys.
I'm sure we can make it work if we can get the broadcast up, please, sir.
Yep, sorry. My
All
apologies.
right. Yeah, good luck, guys. Hopefully that race is enjoyable as ours because yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll be watching the start from my bedroom before I go to sleep.
Good night, Mr. Ross.
Good night, guys. Take it easy.
Enjoy the call, boys.
Yeah. So
I do believe you got a podium, Mr. JP.
I did. Yeah, I don't know. I absolutely despise this track, and last season I got a good result, and this season I get a good result. So maybe I should just hate all the tracks, and I'll do well for the whole season.
There is definitely some kind of strategy there to it. It might work for you, maybe not for everyone. But let's see how we go here. We're watching Adini come down the good old Conrod. Who do you think's in for a good shout for a lap time here, JP?
Well, it'll be interesting. I mean, Adini and Rose are always in with a shout. Richuti has been nothing but fast so far this season, so he's always in there. And of course, you have Floyd and Sweet, I think, a couple of other guys there. So it's quite a stacked top 10. A lot of potential. I mean, John Sonicus, if he can actually put a lap together, he might actually be in with a shout. Although I think he's the one person that dislikes the track more than I do. But yeah, it'll be close, I reckon. But I'm gonna put my money on Adini. I'll say that's my shout for the race.
Ooh, very good. What don't you like about the track, though? I mean, the concrete walls scare me mostly, but either love or hate this track in one way or another.
The thing, yeah, it's a proper love-hate relationship because like I said last night as well, putting a lap together is the most satisfying thing in racing. If you put a proper lap together here, then it's just so good. But it just happens so rarely. And it's most tracks when you make a mistake or you spin or something, you know, okay, I did something wrong, I dipped the wheel here or something. But there's so many corners here where the car just says, okay, well, you're having a spin now, and you're like, well, I don't know what I did wrong. And I think
You
that's...
didn't need to do anything. I just wanted to spin.
Exactly. So yeah, I think that's my biggest frustration of the track is it's just so unpredictable, which is probably what makes it so exciting. So, you know, can't really complain too much.
Speaking of tiny mistakes, looks like it ended a little sideways through the dipper there. Much like we're talking about. Not sure why it does it, but it does a thing. And it can ruin any possibility of a quick lap, but he looks like he got away with it just there. And lucky for Mr. Adini.
It'll be interesting to see This is his banker, so I assume we're looking at like a mid to high 2 minute.
But I
I'm
wish
not
I was
sure.
doing that for my banker times. I'm way slower than that for a banker.
Well, I'm not sure if the track has actually come up to optimum yet, because I know it was on fast for the start of our quali as well. So let's see when he crosses the line. It looks like it's going to be at least a mid 2 minute based on nothing at all.
It's on a hope and a dream. Ooh,
And I'm
2018.
completely wrong. So yes,
It is still quicker than what I think I did in my quality here last night, but that's okay. I'm disappears randomly as we all watch these guys go through the cutting. One of the hardest corners on the track I find for myself. Never seem to nail it. Maybe once in every 10-15 laps. It just feels like you've done it right, but then it's that pursuit of perfection ever since from then.
yeah, I mean the cutting is difficult, but it's a difficult corner just outright. It's hard to get right. The frustrating corners for me are turn 1 and Murray's Bend, the last corner, because they're pretty standard 90-degree left-handers. You know, it should be simple, brake and turn the car, but they're so hard to get consistently right.
So much time you can lose from just missing it by even, half a car length in the braking zone, or you just don't get on the throttle that 2 meters before you would like to, and you end up losing, 3/10 by the time you hit the top of the hill.
Exactly,
Or,
just
you
a
know, you
little
have
tap of the
5K
inside
below.
curve or something. And
Yeah, exactly,
it's-
that's it.
So as we follow Scott Rockford here for Team Kovacs. First season in the Pro-Am, if I'm not mistaken. He was in the Am class last season, so he'll be looking to get some good consistent results this season.
Don't mind the livery choice either. Not bad. I like the colouring. Looks good. You see him come into Murray's here. Let's see what time we get on the board. Definitely a banker at a 2:05. As we jump on board with James here, who has got a 2:01.3 already on the board and is improving at the moment.
And he has a nice toe, but I'm not sure who the McLaren ahead of him is, but this is not ideal because according to OOR rules, he's not allowed to overtake him. So that is going to be the end of all that improvement. So he has a big gap behind him. He might as well back off and have enough time for 2 more fast laps.
Looks like he's taking your advice there. He has definitely backed off. As we see Gibbons cross the line here for a nice 2:01.5. Very pointy time there in the McLaren.
It is the unfortunate thing with a Honda, especially in quali, when you're that close behind somebody, you're going to overtake them because the Honda is just stupid fast in a straight line.
I must admit, I did enjoy the Honda speed last night. It got me out of trouble a few times. Van Baar's almost a second up at the moment, coming down Conrod now. Looking like going to do a nice little lap. Let's see if he can gain a little bit more time coming through the chase here.
Should put him close to the top 10.
This would put him in the top 10, I think.
I think there's a bit of a gap between 12 and 11, somewhere around there, but let's see, he still has a bit of time to improve here.
As we see him take the last corner, he's lost a little bit on his delta, but can he nail it? It's one of those hard corners, yeah. Lost a little bit, but still a 2:02.5 puts him into 13. Not a bad shout.
As we see Holmes improving, he's up 6 tenths coming into Murray's. Needs to find another 4 tenths for top, but he goes 6, and it's very competitive. Top 10 all within 9 tenths of each other, so it's going to be a thrilling finish. We see James' strategy paying off. He's improving again.
Well, I think there was a little kiss on the wall there.
Yeah.
Doesn't really affect the Honda too much here. I've done that a little bit too much last night to feel comfortable with it, but yeah, the top speed doesn't really get affected by that slight little touch on exit there.
So there he's already going faster than a Porsche. And now he's faster than a Bentley, and finally he brakes and he's faster than just about anything. Lost a bit. I think he went in a bit tight into the chase there, so again, that's frustrating. 2 laps in a row being well up on your best time, and we see Swede, who's doing enough for pole at the moment. So
This
coming
will
out
put
of
him on board. It'll be a 2:00. Mo209.
See Dan O'Donnell in chat asking for a taxi after he ran out of fuel. Which you
201
hate seeing it. You
O'Donnell
definitely
does
don't want to
need a
use
taxi.
the Pat Oliver strat, unfortunately.
Unfortunate that you ran out of juice on the top of the hill there, O'Donnell, but good race otherwise, mate.
As we see Chalmers here, another Team Kovacs member coming into Murray's, 4 tenths up. It should, oh, it's not even going to move him up. He improves half a second and he doesn't actually improve in terms of placing, so
Actually,
one
one
more
thing
lap.
that's been pretty stand out this season across the board is that how tight everyone is over the field now. Even, I mean, I know we're separated by pros and pro-ams and amateurs, but the difference in time has definitely come down a lot since last season, well, at least in my eyes. So,
Yeah,
hats off to everyone involved.
definitely sees more, just more competitive across the board. As you said, I have a screenshot of the quali in Kailami, and I think the top 17 were within a second or something. So it's
Lloyd's
just
the man on the mountain at the moment in P1 is slightly up, but had a little bit of a mistake there exiting the elbow. Let's see if he can gain anything with that Lexus top end, which isn't too bad here.
yeah, another frustrating card. Ooh, James has improved mightily. All he needs to do is take care of Murray's, and he'll be at the top of the pile.
It's going to be a staggering lap time for this split. He
It's
looks
gonna
like
be
he's
a
nailed the last
2-minute
corner
flat.
too. Ooh,
2.666.
4 tenths ahead of Floyd. He is up at the moment, but not enough to take it away from James. What a way to put it on pole right as the clock ticks
Ooh.
down for the session.
I think Nada improves, but not enough. And I think Sweet is still on track. But that's about it for the top guys. Richuti seems to have had a rough time. Only P17 at the moment. So, and Van Bar on his current lap will pip him as well if he nails the final sector.
It is one of those tracks that even if you think you've left enough space, one tiny mistake can close that gap up to the car ahead of you quite substantially.
Yep, and especially when there's that many places to make a tiny mistake. It definitely increases the odds of that happening. So Van Bar goes P15, only 6 thousandths of a second behind Cole Johnson.
And
Parkin
Mr. Parkin, let's see what he does here. There's a couple more corners to go. He has gained coming out of the exit of the chase. That is a staggering gain in the Honda there, coming into the last corner now. Half a
Whistle.
second up. Let's see if he nails it.
On for top 5. Ooh, great gain through the final sec. This is top 4.
Oh, and he sits himself
Oh,
on P2.
second.
My God.
Honda
What a
OP.
lap.
That's the perfect time to put that lap in. Fantastic finish to quali there.
Oh,
And
no,
it's
it's
raining.
a wet race. Oh, no.
Oh my goodness.
Sadness for Split Red. Can
I
we get
wish
an
I
F
was-
in chat?
God, I wish I was in the Kovacs chat right now. I think they are all losing the plot. Oh my
dearie
goodness.
me. Hope you guys have practiced your wet setups this week. AP Red is about to go off.
Bender.
Yeah, Bender, for sure.
Yeah. I think Bender's gonna get some angry letters from the rest of Split Red.
He
As
does
he's-
go out before each session, does his rain dance. And it
that's-
seems that this season it's working.
So not only has the pace improved over the last season, it's also the rain dance technique is more accurate, it seems.
He's definitely found a way to make the rain happen, hasn't he? I think what was wet race round, race 2 last round, and now we've got an hour of Bathurst in the wet. And judging by the graphic at the top there, JP, it's going to get heavier as we go.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Everybody, I honestly I don't think people practice wet setups at Bathurst that much because it's so unlikely to happen. So I think everybody is just scrambling to figure something out at the moment.
Just not dry tires. Just don't do a Matty Powell and don't start on the wrong tiles, and you'll be right.
Yeah, well, that's a good bit of advice for the start there. As we wait for them to start their formation lap of death, just go through the standings very quickly for the split so we know where everybody is. And in the pro class, we have Samwise Holmes, who's leading. Stefano Ricciuti is in second, and Callum is in third at the moment, Callum Gibbons. Pignata is second overall in the split, but he's obviously leading the
we
Pro-Am
just saw the
class.
safety car hit the wall.
As you do. Zach James, who's put it on pole, he's second in the Pro-Am class, and Yoko Suzuki is third. And the top am is Lachlan Parkin, who, if I'm not mistaken, is in second on the grid, followed by Bender, David McNulty, who's an am for some reason, and Tom Sanderson. So yeah, Samwise Holmes not in the top 8, so that'll be a bit of an issue for his championship hopes, but luckily it's still early.
Oh, it looks like we've had a wheel failure on the safety car. So we won't have a safety car initially. So our leading racer on the track, James, will be guiding us around a wet warm-up lap of Bathurst. Hopefully everyone's got their warm tyres, blankets off at the right temp. Their pressures are set. They are actually wet tyres, hopefully. And we will probably see many, many deaths for those that have not had the chance to give this track a crack in the wet. I mean, it's bad enough in the dry. This is definitely up the difficulty at least by 50% per corner. And yeah, well, I wish the best to them.
Yeah, I can't. I can't stop giggling on the inside because it's just so awful.
I didn't want to laugh, but it's highly.
No, you did.
Well, I did.
Boxy on the dry tires, Tox, Viney on the dry tires. That seems to be a pretty poor choice.
The rain increasing, that's interesting. Unless they're going to test it for the first few laps and maybe dive into the pits early.
The track condition is already wet, so that doesn't seem to be the... That's a bold strategy, Cotton. See how that works out for them. I don't know. I can't see that going well.
We'll know soon enough, JP. In about 40 seconds, and we will see. Well, hopefully we don't see too much of many incidents here, but they'll probably soon realise that it's a poor choice considering all things. But
also interesting to note the top 3 in quali: a Pro-Am, a Am, and a Pro-Am. So there seems to be some, shall we say, sandbagging going on in the rankings.
Yeah, it looks like people may have taken the sandbags off for this round. They know it's because of the break next week. They've had to put a bit more time into it. They're getting a bit more excited. As you can see, the field lining up for double file now as they just come in to the back end of Conrod.
So yeah, Valiant's asking in chat, does the Honda lose its advantage in the wet? Based on what I've heard and seen, absolutely freaking not.
Map 5 is the win for the Honda in the wet. And you're laughing basically. Alrighty, as they come into the final corner as we're about to get this race underway. See if I can not curse this week's one. I did it last week, but we'll see how we go. As we enter the final bend now, everyone is buttoning up the spaces between each other, maintaining that 80 k's an hour, hopefully. The stewards are looking out for that at all times, so we're just waiting for that green light, and then we're going to hopefully see a fairly clean start, but anything can happen.
Green light, go, go, go.
And we are underway with both Hondas seeming to get a pretty good jump. James definitely seemed to get the better jump out of the two. We have a Lambo up on the inside there of the Honda looking pacey at the start there. Must have got a really good start. As we're cycling through the field, it looks fairly tame at the moment. We've had some people come into the pits that may have been the ones that picked the dry tyres.
Yeah.
That's probably the smartest.
Oh no. going to be pain. He did well to avoid most of the drama there. There is a yellow flag there. That's Gary Philpott, and I can't see the other number, but safety car. I would. Whoa!
Well, safety car looks like it has been deployed. It'll be a virtual one at this stage. Oh no, the safety car is moving, so we will get a lap or two under safety car. We will have to be careful, knowing that they are not ghosted, so hopefully all drivers have been informed of that, even though you should be maintaining some kind of gap to the car ahead. I think, all in all, JP, that was almost inevitable to happen in the wet into turn 2, cold tyres, cold brakes.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that, as we see Cole Johnson there recovering, that he won't be happy with that after a good week last week. But yeah, it's funny that most of the drama seems to have happened before turn 2, which is unfortunate. But I mean, it's tricky conditions and it's a bumpy straight, and yeah, it's bound to happen.
Split rain does not disappoint. At this stage, I think we can start bringing that in last season again. We had the most wet races last season, I do believe. So they're definitely taking it. What, 2 out of 3 races so far for wet. Maybe take that as a note, people in Split Red. Practice your wet races.
So this won't be ideal for getting some heat in the tires either. After a pace lap with the tires cooling down, and then as soon as you start to get going and try to get some pressures in, you have to slow down again. So guys will be hoping the safety car comes in quickly.
Yeah, I dare say it'll only be maybe 1 lap out on the safety car. It might come in on this lap. God, English is hard tonight. But we'll just have to wait and see what the race director decides. Hopefully those that want to get repaired for damage might be able to do so, but it's a no-no at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah, you're not allowed to pit under the safety car, so...
Unless it's a meatball flag, I do believe.
It'll be interesting because this will work out nicely for the guys who obviously forgot to put the wets on before the race, so they'll be catching up to the pack. Hopefully would have done their tire change and filled up for the rest of the race, so they could run long and potentially do fairly well out of this. As it seems somebody died at the chase under safety car.
Would they have enough fuel for their run though? If they've done... Oh, that is an interesting position to have a Mercedes. That is...
Well, that's not where I parked my car.
We hear Franco giggling in the background.
John Tricky asking, are they allowed to ride the brakes and throttles to get heat in the tires? They are. But there comes a call near the end of the safety car or the end of the formation lap where the race director will tell you no more warming of tires, no more warming of brakes. So they are up until that point.
Yeah, even on the formation lap, John, they can warm their tires and brakes as much as they like up until the point double file, and the race director has deemed otherwise.
So I'm not 100% sure what happened to Adini during quali. Of course I said Rose could quali well, but she's not here today, so that would negate that opportunity of qualifying well.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the wet, it sort of throws quality a little bit out the window. You definitely want to be more at the pointy end, but now strategy is definitely going to take into consideration, considering wet track and it increasing over the next 30 minutes as well.
Yeah, the interesting question will be here now. Do you wait for it to get as heavy as possible before you box, get some fresh wets on? Or does the strat remain the same, but halfway? It'll be interesting to see what the guys do.
Indeed, especially once that dry line starts to form a little bit as well, because that'll obviously change the way you race or search for the water on the track if they are getting too hot or you're over pressurizing your tires. Could be a risk if you do go early. You have to wait and see.
Ambient temp has dropped 1 degree already since the start of the race, so you know that's something else to keep in mind. Will it drop more going through the race? So there's some adjustments going to be made to the pit stop strats.
Indeed. Not
So
sure
we
if it
don't
looks
have-
like the safety. Oh, sorry, JP.
No, sorry. As we don't have race control, so we don't know when the safety car's coming in. But
Looks like it might be this lap. Looks like the safety car is just pulled away from the field just a little bit there, as it looks like we're bunching up for a single file restart. The
see if
safety
he
car has done
bottles
his
it
job.
into the pits. He didn't bottle it. That's unfortunate. So the question is, where do you go here? Do you go before the last bend, or
If it
it
was
isn't a
me,
very
I'd be
long
going
straight?
at the last corner.
Yeah.
Hit that drive. It looks like James is thinking exactly the way I would do it. As we go under greens once again, we go for round 2. He's definitely left Pignato a little bit daydreamy there. Got a little bit of gap coming into turn 1, followed by the rest of the field. Doing a nice solo single file restart there as we climb the mountain coming out of Hell Corner. We're on with board with Gibbons at the moment, sitting in P6. We jump back through the field. Everyone seems to be keeping their nose nice and clean. So we might get a lap here.
Fortunately, under the safety car, turn 1 isn't too much of a hassle, but turn 2 will be where we start seeing some more aggression. Oh, that's a bit wide by parking there. That's not where you want to be, especially in the wet. Does well to maintain some speed through there. Only loses the 1 position.
Could have gone a lot worse considering he was out on those marbles as well. Oh, speaking of worse, there is a couple Ferraris and a very sad looking Lexus at the front straight there. Not sure what happened.
Kovacs members coming together in the tradition of Team Kovacs. So
Team Kovacs only takes out Team Kovacs.
Exactly. Seems to be going fairly cleanly. I think James and Pignato seems to be running away from Parkin a little bit at the moment. As he's having a
Bit of a cross up there.
good old time coming down the elbow there.
That little bump coming to the elbow is sketchy in the dry, let alone the wet, so he's done extremely well to keep that out of the wall there. I mean, I don't think I have the skill level to do that. Was impressive to see the hand control work there.
Yeah, there's honestly a lot of saves around Baffert. Whoa, as
There's a
that's
dead Honda.
Parkin. He did not save that one. So luckily
Oh,
out of the
speaking of,
wall,
there's another one that's not
Ferrari.
saved.
So it's cars on ice, it seems. So Charles Clark in a Honda, another Honda. So it seems as though the Honda is not too safe through the chase.
The Honda's fast, but just can't turn. Oh, careful on the ridge. Yeah, nicely done.
Almost.
Could have
Well
ended
done.
in tears, but he has done well to see. Only Hondas lose it through the chase, apparently. Oh, not the chase. Oh, no, it is a chase. I'm thinking the wrong part of the track.
Armando, that is a very second-hand looking Mercedes. I think that steering wheel is not pointing in the direction we wanted to point.
No, it's
Yep, there we
definitely
go.
the opposite of what is ideal.
So that
Good
must
thing
have been a solid impact.
Yeah, the good thing is not long until the pit, so that's ideal in terms of if you are damaged, how far away from the pit box are you? But that is about as good as it's going to get. He's done well. That's the best of a bad situation, I should say. We're back in front with the leaders now. Lloyd is in pursuit of James. He looks very pacey at the moment. As I think James was 1.6 ahead last lap, but now as we see, Floyd is right on the rear of the Honda coming into the skyline. All too wide. Ooh, could end in tears.
If I'm not mistaken, from what I understood, the Lexus is incredibly strong in the wet as well. And it's a bloody rocket ship down the straight, so it's a pretty ideal situation for Floyd at the moment. And Sweetie before as well.
Lexus is quick. We're seeing more in the pits from Floyd now. That Honda straight line, as you can see, it just pulls out of that corner and it has the legs on the Lexus, unfortunately. I mean, fortunate if you are in the Honda. But do we see death of the Honda again? No, but we saw death up further in front of the Honda.
That's Pete Viney, who's doing escapades on ice there. I'll give that a solid 7 out of 10. I mean, oh, that looks like Dini, who's gone a bit wide, kept it going at least, and somehow managed to miss the stranded Ferrari there.
Another member of Kovacs Racing. Our team is showing how to be off track more than on it.
Yeah, correct. There's another def at the chase as well.
Oh, Sasana.
Sasana. So I'm honestly, I'm quite surprised that the mountain hasn't claimed many victims, but the chase is definitely out for blood today.
Yeah, the rain's come and the mountain's just gone. I think it's your turn today. I've had enough. It is only early. We've still got a good solid 48 minutes of the race to go, and this is going to be one hell of a stint in the wet with it still increasing. Wind has died down to 1 kilometre an hour, so the rain is in for a long time, boys, so strap in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that I'm happy it's them and not me.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I didn't practice anything in the wet this week because I didn't think anything of it. Glad it's split red and not myself, so thank you for this.
So sweet, just getting up on the curb there just before Skyline, which is risky most of the time, but he seems to have kept it fairly safe. And there's another Kovacs member who's having a bit of an excursion.
That looks like big damage too, as he was just using up to let the car through safely. Nice job done on that. Front three are separated by mere tenths. Unfortunately, the Lambo doesn't have the legs on the straight with this Honda and the Lexus. But over the top, you do see that it does close up the gap quite a bit.
Lexus is not a slouch, it's no slouch. And I think it's about the only car I've seen that, apart from the GTR, that keeps up with the Honda actually.
Oh, Howard in chat has said Bender's up to 16th. Bender likes the rain apparently.
Bender is now up to 15th it seems, after Sanderson bended, and into the lead of the AM class I would say.
Did he actually get past Sanderson? I'm not sure.
Definitely looked like
Yeah,
it.
definitely got past it. He's definitely through, so he'll be loving it. He has cursed the split, but maybe it was a pro strat. Done these rain dance, he's got what he's wanted. He's done practice in the wet potentially.
I don't think he practices. I think it's part of his charm. He just curses everything and then shows up on the day and races.
Yeah, I think I can confirm that. I wasn't last season, and I think every race he did attend, he rocked up 5 minutes before race start.
Yellow flag up near, seems like Skyline. So that's not a good place to be. And luckily gets it going before anybody arrives.
Yeah, if you are going to spin it through the dip there, you want to make sure you have got enough track clear either side. Get around safely on the rejoin.
Bender up to P14 with Ricciuti doing the early stop.
You also have a car, one round. Norman's had a bit of an off. Not sure how bad, but it doesn't look too bad in terms of damage. We go back to the leaders now. The top four separated by about a second. We're going to get spicy as we keep watching this group.
So now the question is, which of these, because they don't seem to be able to separate themselves just on pure pace, who's going to take a chance on a different strat, who's going to try and overcut, try and undercut? It'll be a big call, especially with the rain making the field a bit more spread out, so there's traffic everywhere. As we see another yellow flag there just after Reed Park, seems to have gotten going again. Not quite yet.
He has got time though, let's see. Yeah, no, he's doing alright. Rejoins nicely.
And gets out of the way. That's good awareness.
Yeah, I think in terms of your strategy now, as we got to start sort of contemplating, you know, you've done 15 minutes so far, you know, do you go another 15, halfway, see what happens? Do you try and overcut the car ahead of you? It depends on how good you are in the wet on these conditions. Hard to say when to pull the trigger.
Getting a bit more exciting here. Dini looks around the outside, which is no place you want to be in the dry, much less in the wet. But yeah, Samwise seems to have the measure of Picky and Dini at the moment. Sonic is just behind him. He was running ahead of that pack earlier, but I'm assuming he had a bit of bootsy and just dropped him behind it.
Dini's right on the rear end of Picky here. Only 4 millimeters apart. When you're racing someone so close to this in these kind of conditions, I can guarantee these guys are not breathing properly.
Samwise
See if
had
I
a
have a moment. He's kept it on the black stuff, which is what you want to do. Re-wide into through Skyline. This could end badly, but we've shown a masterclass of driving as well.
This is some good, clean, close racing, which we love to see. I think Adini is looking to get a run out of the elbow here. Not sure if the Aston has the legs on the boat, especially with the boat still having a bit of a tow from Samwise up ahead.
We're about to find out. Definitely in the tow. He'll be holding onto that as long as he physically possibly can. He gets, oh, he's onto the grass. That's gonna not help the entry in through here. How much room does he have? Is the move gonna stick? Oh, he's hit the curve.
Oh, that's
Oh,
risky.
that could have ended in tears.
That worked out a lot better than I expected it to go, to be honest.
I was a bit concerned when the curve got a bit nommed there by the Aston, but Dini did well to keep it out of not only the wall, but also the rear end of the Bentley ahead. As they about to start their ascent up the mountain yet again. That's when you think you've gotten a break from Bathurst, it goes, no, let's go for round 3.
Another.
They start the climb.
Seems as though Samwise has gotten out of the tow, or capped the tow.
Oh
Parkin.
no, Parkin's
No.
having a moment. He's a round up into the cutting. He's
And the
gonna have to
leaders are
sit
coming
there
up.
for a while too. Yeah, probably
That's
the best move.
smart move here.
He would have been sitting there for quite some time, unfortunately, due to the whole rejoining policy of OOR. You got to do it in a safe manner and not impede any drivers. So just control lock is the way to go.
Not sure if Bignara got somehow held up there or overreacted to the.
Oh no, I think I just saw a yellow in cutting. Sorry to cut you off, JP. And I think it was a Dini. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was 313, which is a Dini. So I'm not sure what happened there. Oh,
Correct.
it is a Dini. Oh no. So maybe just got a bit of aero wash coming in from behind Picky potentially. Not really sure what happened there.
The cutting. Oop, there was another, and Bigfoot as well.
Speaking of the devil.
So they're dropping like flies at the moment. Yeah, the cutting has that ability where you feel like you've turned in right, and the tail end just says, "No, no, I'll just overtake you for a bit, and let's see what's going up front here." And then you're facing the wrong direction.
The mountain is unrelenting. Chase has eased up on its death count, so the mountain has decided it's time for the cutting to take its place.
Oh, apparently
there
Adini
we
and
go.
Bigfoot touched. That's unfortunate.
Just about, Franco. That is basically what happens here at the mountain. As you can see on the track map, we have another yellow up on through the S's there. Who is it?
Armanto again.
Picky still in the pits. We've got another yellow just at
Chase
the
again.
chase.
And he
Just
comes
teleported
in
to the
pits.
pits.
So, yeah, lots of depth.
Yeah, as expected, the mountain has decided to
Sonicus
put the
jumps
gloves on. Oh,
there. A little bit wide there by Luke. Sonicus doing the early stop there. I'm not sure if that's the right call, but we'll figure it out.
getting held up by some traffic and decided to get out of the way.
So Bender up to P10, and the chat goes wild. And that's not where. Oh, that's James.
Oh, that's the
race
race
leader.
leader around. Oh no.
Former race leader.
I wonder if there was any contact between the leaders to have that incident happen, or whether he has just had the rear end come around on him.
least. I mean, Griffin's Bend is another one of those where it's quite easy for the rear just to step out. I can imagine it's not much better in the wet. But maybe Cam can update us if there was a touch or if that was a shadow incident.
You just see how difficult it is to drive here as well as you see the onboards. You see the inputs happening. All drivers will be fighting the car under brakes, under every corner. And a little bit of aero drag as well. Spray does affect it. Just the hand control goes crazy here. It's good to watch though.
It's fantastic to watch, and I mean, it takes so much skill and finesse just to not only keep the car on, or go fast, but to just keep the car on track and not in a wall is already a feat upon itself. So
Can confirm I struggle with that at the best of times in the dry, let alone the wet.
Apparently Zach had a self-diff, which is unfortunate, but better than having somebody else involved at least. So. Oh, that's a bit of a big move there by Norman.
It is adventurous using the grass as the extra racetrack.
Kept his foot in it, so he was
He
not backing out.
kept it. He got the job done, but whether that'll be looked at further or not is another question. It looked pretty clean. And he just dives into the pit. Oh no, that was the McLaren behind. Never mind me.
So the rain will be increasing any time now, which should be interesting to see what effect it has on the pace. It looks like the leaders are lapping around the 209s, I think, somewhere around there, 210s. So it'll be interesting to see what the pace.
You know what, Hooli? I'll gladly follow you around a lap here with no ABS, no TC, slicks, no wing, and it in the rain just to see how bad it goes.
Yeah, that's definitely a YouTube video that people would want to watch.
How many corners can they make? The answer, none.
Counting the pit lane.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't even exit pits without spinning, to be honest.
So Bender running 9th at the moment. Obviously a couple of people ahead of him had.
Oh, Bender in top 10 confirmed. Look out. Maybe Bender is the ultimate sandbagger.
He's making some moves across the mountain.
That was very well caught there by Sanderson, slightly losing it through McPhilmy there. Did well to save it.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. It seems to, this is normally pit window time and the rain has already increased now. So let's see if it affects the track or ambient temp.
I think we're sitting at 19 before, so that hasn't really dropped, but the wind speed has completely gone. Enjoy the fact the rain's here to stay. You'd be hoping that you have got at least to this halfway mark before you come into your stops if you have managed to keep it out of the wall so far. Because now is probably the time you might want that fresh rubber. Make sure you adjust your tyre temps or pressures. In a couple of clicks you might need it as we keep going in this race.
Yeah, I think we should start seeing the top 10 filing into the pits as we see Convoy jumping in there. Trying to get out of this little close battle that he's involved in and maybe go get the undercut done. Sanderson all over the back of him probably, and Aston probably doesn't stand much of a chance going up the hill.
No, not against the Honda, I'm afraid. It's an easy job done there for the Honda. Oop, as we see Johnson off. He's done well to let all the cars through before rejoining the track safely. Yeah, Ryan, it could be that the AMs are pro in the wet. Who knows, mate? But if they are, then they've definitely been sandbagging every other race they've done. As we're on board with the leaders, getting caught up in some lap traffic. We'll have to wait and see how much this is going to affect these guys coming down Conrod here. Sweet, get a better exit. Who knows? The Lambo is in tow.
don't think the Lambo has the legs on the Lexus. It looks like it's still gapping him even with that pretty intense toe that he has there.
Definitely pacey. Ooh.
A little bit of aero wash there. Ooh!
Oh, he's done well to keep that out of the wall for a start and also out of the back of Corey Sweet. Hopefully he does a nice, safe rejoin. Yeah, that's well done. Could have ended a lot worse.
Well managed. Only lost a little bit of time and that's about it. See, Richuti, currently our highest runner who has completed his pit stop. So it will be interesting to see where they feed out. And in 30 minutes the rain will reduce, but I don't think that's going to have much effect on the race, to be honest.
I doubt with 3 minutes remaining in the time frame, according to that. Ooh, that was a nice little slap into the wall.
As we see Bryce here in the McLaren, he'll be still counting his lucky stars that he's not in the Jag this season. But doing well, running P13 at the moment. Still obviously a stop to do, but doing well so far.
Clark will be definitely putting the pressure on him coming from that Honda. He did have a bit of an off earlier. I believe it was Clark that had one of those chase deaths that we saw. But now he'll be definitely trying to climb back up the order.
It's never a nice sight when you have a Honda in your rearview mirror down here. I'm like, well, okay. How do I keep this thing behind me? When VTEC kicks in.
The VTEC kicks in, yeah. It was sort of my strategy last night, unfortunately. Worked well, but people behind me were quick over the top, and I was like, I just need to survive the top until I can get to Conrad, and then I'll gap him. And yeah, they just pulls away out. So it's a bit of a terrifying thing, I must admit.
But once you survive the top of the mountain, then
you're
smiling
fine,
all
yeah.
the way down to Conrad.
Gap half a second, and it's all happy days from then on.
So just to update Janice, Callum is running in P4, doing very well so far. There's a big gap to Samwise behind him. Fairly close to Big Nada, but not really challenging him yet. But he's going well.
Yeah, I think the front of the... Oh, that's a contact with the wall from Bryce. That's going to cause some issues. But hopefully not too much damage, but Honda will definitely be having a crack down the straight here now, knowing that potentially bad exit and the speed to see if the Honda has the legs to get the gap, but McLaren is quite pacey down the straights as well.
It doesn't seem to be gaining a crazy amount. I'm wondering if the guys in the Honda have to maybe just have a slight lift before the chase there, or if they're still doing it flat, especially the guys who already had a bit of a depth. Yeah, as Brayden says, we have to dip the two-stroke into the water for extra pace. It's definitely... It's fast, it's not the slowest, it's obviously not a Porsche, so we can still giggle at the porkers down the straight, but anything else, just pretty much...
Ooh, Bryce has taken the extreme wide line.
So the esports line is not always the fastest, as you can see there, it didn't quite pay off.
And the Honda has a very easy overtake, and you can see the speed difference. So having that slight off, probably already gained about 0.8 of a second on the McLaren. Oh,
as one bar goes on the inside there, I'm not sure if that was going to pay off well, but...
And there is yellow into that turn 2 from potentially what we literally just moved away from. Yeah, unfortunately Bryce has spun,
So
or
I
has
think that
been
was
spun.
contact with Van Bar. You don't want to stick your nose in there, especially. It's not a heavy enough braking zone to really outbrake somebody there. And that's such a crappy place. He has a bit of time now to go. Although
He's going to do his best. Yeah, he's using the wall to assist his turn. He's going to let these two cars go through potentially and get back on his way. Unfortunate to see, but as all races do, we see a little door open up on the opportunity and we go, oh, we can make it. And sometimes.
I
you
can
just-
take that gap.
Yeah, I can. There's a gap there. I got this. As you see, Sanderson almost clipped that inside curb there, but manages to have a little bit of a wiggle away from it and not have the Honda death. Done well to stop that. We can see that Bender's actually dropped down from Sanderson quite a bit now in terms of time. Bender's a little bit back on the road, but that's okay. Pit stops could play a factor into seeing Bender's Pro-Am win if that is... Am win if that is the case.
Ultimate local in chat. Between rallying and drifting, what do you think is a good discipline between the two that can be translated to GT3 car control? Well, having had a chat with Philippa, who's really, according to legends, she's only been doing GT3 racing for about a year and a half, and before that she was doing drifting. And she's an absolute freak alien in car control, so I would say that drifting is a very effective discipline to generate car control, general steering control, throttle, braking and everything like that. I don't know about you, Noski?
I'd probably sway more the drifting side of things as well, to be honest. I mean, I think in my opinion, rally's good, but I mean, you have that co-driver with you the whole time. Calling out that kind of, I don't think it's a very, most of the time you're probably on dirt, or it doesn't really have the same effect in my eyes. So I would say probably, yeah, definitely the throttle control and all that, and the steering inputs from rally, the drifting side of things would probably more benefit in my opinion.
The rally guys are bloody crazy though. I mean, they just...
Oh yeah, they're nuts.
200 kilometers an hour through trees, having a weird little man sitting next to you trying to read a paper telling you what's coming up, and everything happens so fast, it's insane.
Not something I would call a fun time, but I mean, I'm sure it's highly enjoyable. It just doesn't sound good on paper.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Brayden, in terms of just the skill that the drivers have, it definitely...
Oh, we see Lexus go a little bit off track, but saves it. Alright, as you were saying, JP?
No, I can't... I can agree with Brayden that it is the most impressive drivers. But yeah, I think it's just a slightly different skill set. They are incredible, and you can see how well they do when they have the Race of Champions and stuff like that. A lot of them do very well there as well, so they obviously know how to drive different vehicles. But you saw somebody like a Kimi Räikkönen who goes into rally and he does fairly well. Don't see a lot going the other way around.
I think at the end of the day, you can take skills from all types of disciplines in terms of the motorsport, but yeah, I think you just got to find what you enjoy better, I guess. See what you can translate across from one platform to another.
As we're still... So currently, none of the... Sorry. We
Top
know
9.
English so good.
We're all had English moments, me especially.
Yeah.
Top 9 still have not pitted. Sorry, top 11. Not bad, I can't count. I've lost English and math abilities today. Doing well.
So Norman is in the pits, or yeah, he's come out already. So he's running P14 now. This freaking thing that updates so slowly. So yeah, Rachuti who did the early stop is now running P13. So it'll be interesting to see when the higher rate or the higher placed guys decide to dive in, where they feed back out.
Will indeed. Looks like Sasana's getting held up by a blue flag at the moment across the top, but as we all know, it is almost impossible to overtake across the mountain, especially through the twisty sections, and then you add in the extra flavour of the wet. He's done well just to wait until Forest Elba here, where the blue flag should step aside and let him through, which, as we see, happens. Very nicely done.
Yeah, just that little bit of patience, that lose a little bit of time, but you could see last night there were a couple of incidents of lapping cars trying to poke a nose in earlier than they needed to, and it cost them quite a bit at the end. So it's worth that little bit of patience, losing a second or two instead of ending up with 20 seconds of damage.
Very much so. As we're sitting here with P3, Pignata, coming across the top of the mountain again, looking still very pacey. Just a sub 3 seconds behind P2 at the moment. The front runners are definitely, with catching the lower traffic on the track, have sort of got their little bit of a gap. But now they'll be trying to play that mental game of, oh, should I or shouldn't I go now? Do we wait until I get this blue flag car? Do I wait and see what car ahead does? Because you can sort of see Corey in his sight here. He's only one car ahead. I think it's a matter of who goes first here. Who decides to roll the dice?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's where do you feed back out? Do you feed back into traffic? Who's going to blink first? I think Floyd is in the pound seats because he has a big enough gap to react to whatever happens behind him.
Yeah, it's one of those tough calls. Being one of the front runners, Gibbons looks like he's come out of pits and he's currently P8 at the moment. So that is, I think he was P7 or P6 possibly prior to all that happening.
Yeah, I think he was running P4.
There you go. Oh, shattered. Welcome, Franco.
Have I disconnected?
We're getting misled information from Franco, so it's okay. Never mind, we're moving on. As we are on board with Picky again. He's ran long with, he still hasn't had his stop yet, but has got a 10-second penalty looming over his head. That may have been from that earlier contact with the Dini up through the cutting. But that is beyond what we can see because we don't have the race control system at the moment. It looks like the leaders are... Oh, and Floyd is leaving the pits. This is interesting. Where does he funnel out in terms of the field?
So who's gonna react first? It's between Sweet and Pignata. Apparently Zach James boxed twice for dry tires. That is just
Oh, that is sad.
very unfortunate. I would pretty much uninstall ACC if I did that. So Floyd. So Bender is in the pits. Interesting to see where he feeds out as well.
Another comment from Ultimate here. In terms of driving skill, talking about a driver liking an understeer or an oversteery car, what do you think is most overlooked about it? Being too focused on one of the two things, or do you think one is better than the other, JP?
Honestly, I mean, I think that's very much a personal preference. You know, certain guys, somebody like a Max Verstappen apparently likes a very understeery car, a very oversteery car. Some other guys prefer understeer. I think the very, very raw talented guys generally prefer an oversteery car because they just have that innate ability to manage it and to keep it going fast. Whereas your sort of talented race drivers, but not your world champions, they prefer understeery car because it's just a bit safer and you can manage it a little bit easier. How about yourself?
I get terrified by the thought of both, but probably more oversteery. I think I can just control the slug better for my style. But yeah, I think it's definitely a personal choice at the end of the day. But as long as I can turn in, I don't mind controlling the rest of it via throttle.
And just John Sonicus has disconnected as well. So he was not having a great day, and it's just gone from bad to worse. As we see Sweet rolling out of the pits here.
And Pignata is also leaving, right behind.
There goes Floyd, so that hasn't worked. Floyd will maintain his gap, I think. And it seems that nobody has really gained anything to me through the pit stops.
Even Holmes. Actually, Holmes has pitted and he's come out behind as well. Never mind.
But he's come out ahead of Gibbons, who obviously has the run on him now, but that would be a net gain for Holmes, it seems.
Yeah, now's the chance. Your tyres are slightly warmed up compared to Holmes's. See what he does across the top here. Will he set him up for the Conrod Salt?
I think Holmes started in 9th position, so he's had a very good race so far.
Nice to fourth in these conditions is impressive, to say the least. He's actually been on point even last round in some as well, in terms of he won the last race, if I'm not mistaken.
If I recall correctly, that is what happened.
Holmes definitely has some pace about him in the split at the moment.
I think he's leading split red at the moment, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh, very impressive.
There's that big Nada second.
There'll be some differentials changing after this race, and Olympic Net is slightly ahead of him on track, so I don't know what terms that's going to do in total points.
So yeah, Samwise is 11 points clear of Big Nada at the moment. So let's extend that gap.
Oh,
And
really?
Rachuti is in 3rd, but he's only running 7th at the moment, so he'll be losing some ground. Oh, sorry, I mean Big Nada is ahead of Holmes, obviously. I've had more on, apparently.
It's alright, we all get confused. It's all good, it's all good. I was like, oh, how's he extend when he's behind? But
Yeah.
yeah, we got there, we got there.
Me know English so good, me know math so good.
We're both as good as each other. We're still on board with Gibbons. He'll be just trying to size up where Holmes is weak. See where he might be able to potentially put a move on. At the moment, Holmes looks very strong and in control of that Audi. There was a gunshot sound? I didn't hear this chat. Am I oblivious to something?
I think it came from yours, I'm not sure actually. But I didn't make a noise. But it's good to see that the stream has woken up at least, so you know, there's that.
Welcome, everyone was asleep, but now you're up and you're fired. Let's go for the last 17 minutes of this race.
Apparently it's a Kuno's feature, definitely not a bike feature.
Oh. Just when the mountain's not good enough, we now have added guns to it. There we go. Definitely have to bring some pounds when you're racing here around the mountain for sure. Make sure you add fuel this time, O'Donnell. You'll be sweet, mate. That's just still on board with Gibbons. Potentially trying to size him up through here into elbow on Conrod's. Let's see what happens. Did he get a better exit or not? I don't think so. That Audi is quite punchy in a straight line. I don't think he's going to get much of a tow here, but just waiting and seeing when and if the person ahead does make a mistake, give you that opportunity for a pounce on it, see what happens.
These guys would want to avoid any sort of drama as well, because McLaren is just in the back there, hoping for some oopsies so he can maybe gain a free position or two. And Rachuti has done very well as well. I think he started P16 or 17th and he's running 7th at the moment, so that early stop really played off for him.
That is an impressive drive so far. We're coming down to the final quarter of the race. 15 minutes, just about to tick over. I hope everyone has set their tyre pressures correctly, because you can't fix it now, otherwise you'll lose out massive time. Rain will be here for the remainder of the race as well, because it's still saying it's slightly easing in 30 minutes time as they start to climb the mountain again. Let's see if we can get over the top, or whether Gibbons can actually get a bit closer this time.
Yeah, so they'll also need to be worrying about Rachuti closing up on them. He's not too far back. Rachuti. I mean, Brayden is just absolutely killing the puns at the moment, so well done.
Yeah, well done, Raiden. He must have just like his pun book beside his bedside table. He did say he was going to bed, so you know he's just sitting there ready to go.
On Google for funny gun puns. No porkers in the split. Don't think so. I haven't seen any.
I don't think there was, unless I've missed. Well, I'm just not looking properly, maybe. I don't think there is any Porsche.
Well, there's definitely none in the top 23. So
Yes, there's nothing that I can see on the
we
screen.
can confirm that.
Fairly sure there are drivers in the split in the Porsche. The top 23, apparently not.
So Hayden McLaren, obviously one of the unleashed drivers, doing well in his first season back. Fair enough, Brendan. That's a very, very well done original. McLaren is definitely closing the gap here. Still quite a bit of time left. 13 minutes is a long time, especially on a track with 492 moments of potential death per lap.
Oh, so it's come down in numbers since last lap.
Yes, no, it's as you learn the track more, the number slowly decreases.
I just thought it kept increasing because you get more confident the more you go over it, and then there's more chances of failure.
Certainly a possibility. Currently, so 2 AMs, well, 1 AM running top 10, and then Bender just not quite as good as the other AM, running in 11th. And Pignata owning the Pro-Am class with Hayden not too far behind him.
Something there tells me that there might be some bump up in classification soon. Some of these results from these drivers. They're doing exceptionally well.
Would certainly think so. Let's see, this is the battle for the third step in the Pro-Am podium. 3 within a second of each other basically, so this could get spicy towards the end of the race as well.
Neighbours to lose at this point in time. And Clark will be hot on his heels, climbing up the mountain yet again. So let's see if they can get onto that Pro-Am P3 position.
Fortunately for Neighbour, he is in the Ferrari versus the 2 fastest straight line cars, so he's gonna have to make sure of some good runs through turn 1 and the forest elbow there.
You want to get all the work in the gap you can over the mountain, that way the top speed of the 2 behind get a bit negated, or even if the Honda can actually cause a bit more grief to the Lexus, it'll allow Neighbour to get that little bit of breathing space, so to speak. They are very close coming into Skyline here, so maybe there is a potential of a move coming onto Conrad here. They go through into the dipper, keeping it very nice and tight there. Going good lines. The Honda is looking very pacey at the moment, creeping up. Maybe having a bit of a look on the inside there through the elbow. It's a very nice exit.
David Neighbour is having nightmares already.
Lexus has definitely got some legs on it at the moment. If they go too wide, oh god, it's just going straight past. That's just unfortunate.
Charles Clark having his lesson earlier in the race, not
Oh, the Lexus has gone off track. Look out. Watch out for the rejoin. Done well. Unfortunately, didn't pull it up quick enough. Neighbour retains that P3 in class spot at the moment. Gifted by the Lexus just overshooting. Maybe wasn't aware of the braking zone with the added pace from the toe.
well, that and the boards are gone, the braking boards. So
Oh yeah, that never
really
helps.
helpful.
Yeah,
I actually noticed it as they came down. I was like, he's going very fast. I wonder if they know the boards are gone.
Oh, as we see the Honda just swamp past the Fez on the front straight there. God, it is quick up the mountain. It's actually been fun to drive this car, to be honest, this season.
Yeah, I don't know. Not sure if that sentiment is going to carry over to Zolder, but
Yeah, look, I'm not trying to think that far ahead.
Okay, no, just that's fair enough. Just ignore the
I'll
future.
just
And it's
I'll
not a
just
thing.
cry in the corner later. It's okay. As we're on board with Mr. Rain Dance himself, he's doing an exceptional performance sitting in P11 at the moment.
Closed
Only-
right back up to Sanderson. He was
has.
7 seconds adrift, so I think either Sanderson had a moment, or McNulty has just found the pace of the gods somewhere. And as Cam pointing out, the battle for P4 is also heating up. McLaren less than half a second behind Gibbons at the moment.
I see. I come right down to the line for sure, as my dog whimpers in the background for something.
Also a good time to remind everyone there's 71 people watching and 26 likes so far, so not to call you all out, but that's very, very disappointing.
Remember, Max gets fed at 100.
So McLaren just got passed by Ricciuti. That's interesting. McLaren was challenging Gibbo. I'm not sure if he maybe went for a move that didn't quite stick and ended up losing out to Ricciuti.
Hard to say, but the job was done regardless. Probably up into turn 2, I would dare say. Maybe got a real good run out of Hell Corner. Heading up the mountain as they come through Skyline. Always sketchy through here. I still am terrified every time I come down this section of the track.
As you can see, Neighbor, the battle we were following earlier, he has eventually lost out to the Lexus now. So, put up a brave defense, but unfortunately just Ferrari does not compare to a Lexus or a Honda down the straight here, so...
Yeah, it's a bit hard when you don't carry that top end speed. Especially if they're within that sort of window of half a second behind you coming onto those long Bathurst straights. They will just gobble you up as they go by and say thanks very much.
That's not a curve you want to be hitting, did well to save that.
This is still the battle for P4. Well, Gibbons is about a second off Holmes at the moment. 1.3 to be exact. Ricciuti half a second behind.
Yellow flag turn
Gibbons.
1. Out of the way there, looks like one of the go-back cars as well.
731 if I'm not mistaken, but I could be reading that graphic wrong.
Gary, yep.
Gary's had a bit of a moment. Ricciuti only half a second now behind Gibbons. He has definitely got some pace.
So this is definitely what Samwise would be hoping for, just to get these guys fighting amongst each other so he can... Oh, that's not what you want to be doing.
Sasana's
Sasana.
spun. At least he's well and truly off
Yeah,
track at the moment, so that's unfortunate, but he is doing all the right things to keep that car off the racing line.
yeah, Diabolers. I think Picky maybe just messed up his tire change and didn't actually do it.
Oh, really? Oh, that's sad.
So he'll be eating that penalty at the end there. As you can see, Ricciuti all over the back of Gibbons here. Janice will be holding her breath. And Ricciuti might upset the grandma if he's not careful, so he should do this carefully.
Going with some blue flag markers as well. One's got well out the way.
Sasana
Well
is
done.
recovering from his spin.
Well, the Lambo looked like it had good exit there.
As the cameraman decides what he wants to see.
That cameraman needs to get paid more money. Clearly he's not doing his job correctly, or they need to replace him, but we're back on where we need to be at. Very bouncy through there. At the moment, not close enough to make a move. That's actually closed up the gap to Holmes as well.
The gap for the lead is now also 1 second, so that might still get spicy in the last 5 minutes here.
That was 1.9 last time I looked up about a minute ago, so that is definitely some pace from Sweet there, unless Floyd could have been potentially held up by some blue flags across the top.
It is possible, but I don't see any that were close to them, so that could be, unless he made a mistake. I think it's so easy at the chase when there's no brake balls just to brake that little 5 meters too late, and Big Nada in the pit. That's
We have
unfortunate.
a yellow in the cutting here. Let's see where these three
That's
deal with
Sweet.
it.
That's 32. That's Corey Sweet.
Oh, it
who's
is
had
too.
a
Oh
two.
no. How badly damaged is this Lexus?
McLaren again all over the back of Richie, but just not the place to overtake here.
Battle's going to come right down to the line. Last open watch. Yeah, Franco, go buy some more monitors, mate. We need like 15. There's too much going on. There's even a yellow in the chase. It's like might be car 78.
That will be Chalmers.
Oh, I want the Kovac car.
Another Kovac sprint. They are putting in the numbers today.
There's a low into turn 1 as well by the look of it. Car 88, I believe that is. Could be wrong, but there we go. McLaren's not doing too bad on the exit through the elbow.
So those three were very close to each other, and we should hopefully get back to them before the end of the chase there. Is somebody going to send it? Will sanity prevail? Ricciuti moves out, maybe just tries to get Gibbons to blink. McLaren just tries to spook Ricciuti. Everybody doing very well to hold it up and make it through without any dramas.
It was impressive to watch. I must admit, held my breath a little bit there. Didn't know who was going to hit who, and I was just like, ah! But we got through it, and they're going to reload and go again. See if there's potential move into turn 2. Shooty is going to line up Gibbons here. See what happens if that Lambo has got the legs. I dare say Gibbons will be defending for his life, knowing that he's probably only got 2 laps to go with just over 2 minutes left in the race.
I'm not sure. Diabol is pointing out about Big Nada who pitted. I'm not sure if he maybe had an incident or something, that he had some damage to repair, but he was running fairly well. But unfortunately, just seems to have come a cuppa.
Maybe our seasoned Cameron Farmer can find out what happened there. He's the man with all the extra secrets and hints and tips behind the scenes. Might be able to fill us in on what happened on that incident, if there was one.
Yeah, he was actually running P3. He was ahead of Holmes. Ooh, that is risky, putting a wheel up there.
You have that sense he really wants that position. He's fighting hard for it. He can almost taste it by the look of it. Oh, Ricciuti has a moment. He's gone too wide through here. This could end badly.
Does
Ricciuti
well.
yields. Smart play. Try and
He is
line him up.
usually quite sensible at least. He's not an overly aggressive. He's clean and fast as hell, but he's never overly aggressive at least.
We're about to see that speed from the Lambo by the look of it. The Aston looks sluggish here. We will see whether he gets the position back coming through the chase.
Is he going to give him the space? Is he going to defend? He's defending. Brakes pretty much just where you want to. Ricciuti gets a good run coming out, but the door closes. Big Nada bin before McPhillamy. Looks like force feedback loss and getting teleported. So just a big old sadness. Can we get an F in chat for Big Nada?
It's unfortunate. I know that someone in last bit had a hardware issue which caused the collision as well. That was major sadness. As we're watching potentially the last lap here. Will Ricciuti be able to hunt down his position or not?
I had a big old moment when Henderson disconnected in our split. He was ahead of me, and then he reappeared in my rearview mirror coming into the chase. Now
They
nearly.
almost collide. Sorry, JP.
No,
They
no,
almost
no worries.
collide into turn 2 there. Again, Ricciuti, being the gentleman that he is, backs out of it. But we don't have the contact. It's a very nice line there through the cutting.
So he's going to be lining this up for the chase. He stay as close as possible across the mountain, and then nail Forest Elbow, and then it's going to come down to who has the bigger kahunas coming into the chase.
It's definitely going to be good to watch in these dying moments of this track and this race. Stellar
What
effort
do we
to all the
think, Chad?
drivers.
Who's taking P5 here? McLaren or a duty?
Oh, Bender's into P9, by the way. Looking at that, looking at chat.
Sanderson must have had a massive moment because he's down to 14 as well. So here we go, final run coming up to the chase. I don't think that McLaren might have a little bit of a tow from Gibbons, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough, as we see Floyd coming into Murray's for the final time to take what turned out to be a fairly easy victory once the leaders fell off.
Yeah, pretty much a flawless race from Floyd there. We're going to take P2. Done well. Nice to have done Mr. Sweet. And Holmes P3. Good enough gap that he doesn't have to worry about. Gibbons. Looks like Rashidi couldn't get the move done coming down Conrad. So the top 6 are all finished relatively close to each other. Back to Adini now coming into the last corner.
Adini has done very well to recover.
He's done an impressive job considering he was spun around there for a while.
As we'll have McLaren with the Pro-Am win and waiting for Bender to Bennett coming into the chase, so he loses the win.
You're trying to commentate a curse Bender. I like your style. We're on board, let's see. Does the curse stand?
Bennett. As Clark must have been around to drop McNulty to P10, but I think Bender will be more than happy with a top 10 and an AM class win.
Oh, you'd have to be happy with that effort. That is a stellar drive, Bender. Nicely done. Last corner. Don't bin it. Show us what you've got. There you go. Mr. Rain himself gets a an AM win and finishes in the top 10. Nicely done.
Bunbar ends up getting the final step on the Pro-Am podium. So it looks like Sanderson will get P2 for the AMs, and depending on where they finish, Munoz will get P3 for the AMs. Parkin, I'm not sure if he actually finished the race. Jeremy, he had a tough old time, and he teleported to pits at some stage.
I think he has a race to forget, much like this Honda looks like it needs to forget this track. That front does not look happy. We're all coming across the line now. I think a couple cars remaining before the race is completely done. Nicely done, split red. You guys have been insane to watch in the rain.
Some heartbreak for Pignata, obviously running so well and finishing P26 in the pits. He's not going to be happy with that. As we see Chalmers, who should be the last car on track to finish. And that is the race.
There we go, GG to everyone. So we've got Floyd Sweet Holmes bringing home the Pro win and the overall. If we can tick over to the Pro-Ams, we might be able to see who got there. We got, that's the wrong one. I was about to call out the wrong names there, but McLaren gets P1, Clark second, Van Bar third. And the AMs, if we can, good Mr. Franco. Bender with his win. Anderson second, and Monzos in third. Very good all round. Congrats on keeping it relatively clean over Bathurst in the wet.
Yeah, definitely. All things considered, conditions taken into account, that was a bloody good effort by Split Red there. Was obviously incidents, but there was always going to be. But yeah, great race and good 1-2 finish for Team Lexus. So
The Lexus have proven to be the better ones than the Hondas in the quali. Hondas had qualies, Lexus take the race. There we have it.
yeah, just before we head out, a reminder, if you can like the stream, if you haven't subscribed yet, click that subscribe button and the bell so you know when OOR is going live. Of course, next week there is no sprint series as we have the 9 hours of Kyalami. If you haven't entered yet, you still have about a day and a half to do that and get your classification done. join 49 other teams for 9 hours around Africa's greatest track.
It'll be 9 hours of fun and entertainment, no doubt at all, and many, many sadness moments I have no doubt I will cause myself around that track, so that's okay. It's been fun tonight. Thanks for joining me in the box, GP.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and thanks for everybody tuning in, and have a good night, guys. See you next week.
Thanks, chat. See you on the next one.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, guys. Thanks for all my commentators for the last 2 days that have come in and helped out. Malik will be on deck, hopefully, for the Enduro coming up, as well as the return to the Sprint Series in a couple of weeks' time. But that's going to be it from me. Thank you to everyone, and we'll see you all down the track. There is North America tomorrow, so if you're up and about, catch them on stream then. All right. See everyone
Cheers, Franco.
later. No worries.
See you, chat.
Cheers, guys.